It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, here we go. On a Thursday, thanks for jumping in. For the 3-hour Lazy River, we'll put you in the raft, and we'll find out where we're going along the way. Rothman and Ice here, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and the Loose Cannon. Boys, how we feeling?
I got my floaties on, man. I'm ready for the Lazy River today. Let's get after it. It's chilly outside, a little windy out there. We've had football weather all week, but life is pretty good. Yeah, dark
Nice,
and
good to see
dreary.
you.
Tress, my guy, it's good to see you as always. How you feeling today, fellas? You good?
Yes, outstanding. What can I tell you, man? This is the way it is. We get the intermix of cold, wet, and hot, and here it comes. Memorial next week. I haven't seen the advanced forecast, but I think this kind of carries us into Wednesday morning.
I got it for you right here.
And I don't have
big
it
dog.
beyond that.
I have Wednesday, 67 is the high, 45% chance of rain. Thursday, the high is 70, partly cloudy. And then Friday is 72, partly cloudy. Saturday looks like nothing but sunshine and 74. So the weekend right now for the Memorial at Jack's Place looks pretty darn good.
Get it all out of the way now.
Yeah.
Or most of it, whatever you can. Speaking of Memorial, Tournament Director Dan Sullivan, 12:30. Let's try to zero in on this field, finalize this deal. I know they got to wait till the Colonial this weekend because if somebody were to qualify that isn't already playing, then that would officially finalize the field on Monday. But I believe the deadline would be Friday at 5 o'clock as usual. And, you know, we're kind of back into that spot 2 weeks before the Open. And so it's in kind of their comfortable position. And guys getting ready for the next major and the U.S. Open. So we'll have Dan on at 12:30 today. We saw overnight, I'm sure this was a shock to a lot of people because of his age, but Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay died at the age of 65. It's an incredible, it's obviously tragic because of the age and the stuff he struggled with, alcohol and other things. But the story itself is pretty amazing. It's kind of like the take your kid to work day and then he winds up running the company.
Yeah.
This happens a lot, obviously, in these types of, in this world. But, you know, when they got to Indianapolis, and we don't go through the whole story about Baltimore, because the Baltimore with his dad, from everything I remember, Baltimore was not doing right by his dad. They weren't. And what happens here is that, first of all, anybody that could pull a team out of a city, right, a proud city, and move them is going to be a villain for sure.
No doubt.
Everybody, obviously, Modell, and that's the weird thing is this is the swap. He leaves Baltimore. Modell's the hero to Baltimore. He's the villain. And he gets his dad, from what I remember, basically appointed him GM and vice president to save money. Just, you're in the family. Let's keep it all in the
Cheaper
family.
option.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Younger Irsay, learn about the business, start running things. And the tragedy that I will tell you, not only him, but his family, like he's got 3 daughters that survive him and a lot of grandchildren. His brother was born with a disability and died in the late 90s. And his sister died in a car crash when she was 15. It's been a unbelievably sad story for the family, even though they've done some incredible things. But when he became the sole owner of the team, he was the youngest at the time. I think he was in his 30s or late 30s, which is pretty amazing. And then he winds up trading for Bill Polian. He trades for a GM. And they draft Manning, and away you go.
Yeah.
And then they wound up getting Luck, too, later on. But, yeah. And here's the other odd story, if you guys don't know. He has a ridiculous... a lot of people with money, so you're a car guy, clothes guy, jewelry guy, vacation guy, house guy, watch guy, shoe guy.
It's usually the categories.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things. And he spent millions of dollars on guitars, played by famous people.
Yeah, icons.
Bob Dylan has. He has the belt won by Muhammad Ali. Like his collection is unreal. And I was looking at this the other day, It's really unbelievable. More than 1,000 items in his collection. And they've toured the United States. It's not just like in his basement.
Yeah.
And he's got the guitar played by Kurt Cobain in the video for Smells Like Teen Spirit. He paid $4.7 million for it. Muhammad Ali's Rumble in the Jungle Championship belt. He bought it for $6 million. He bought a pair of tickets. The tickets, like stubs, apparently, to the Ford Theater. Hang on to your chair. The night of Abraham Lincoln's assassination.
Okay, that's wild. That's wild.
What?
How are those still around?
262,500. He's never sold any items in the collection. Now it's up to the family. That's what Dad would have wanted. He said, for me, I'd rather do this than be floating around on a $200 million yacht. If I float on that, I'm going to say I'm bored. Why am I here? Like, what am I doing here? This is incredible.
Yeah, that's some wild stuff right there. Some very cool memorabilia. He was one of those owners, AR, that didn't shy away from speaking his mind. He was an outspoken guy. He was out there in front of the Colts organization, representing the brand outside of his personal stuff. But you hear the stories about when they went to the Super Bowl in 2006, how he flew the entire organization down to, I believe, Miami is where that Super Bowl was at the time. Family members, people that just worked in the concessions, whoever it was. If you had any hand in helping out the Colts organization that year, you got a trip to the Super Bowl. And then you hear the stories of what he meant to the players. And that's such a big deal because sometimes I think you can have owners that are just there on Sundays that don't really care that much about the football aspect of this or just the people that really make it go. He was the opposite of that. And to see him be up there for a few of his players when they got to the Hall of Fame and be their presenter just showed what type of owner he was and the love that guys like Edgerrin James, Marvin Harrison, and Dwight Freeney had for him. And I'll never forget when he, as an owner, came out himself and called out Dan Snyder, who was the owner at the time of Washington, and said, this dude needs to sell the team. I mean, you talk about stabbing in the back. Those are the guys that run the league. It's rare that you ever see owner-on-owner crime. And that dude did not run from any of that because he thought he was bad, not only for that franchise, but bad for the league. And so now they have to turn the page in a sad way, and they're going to keep this thing in the family. And reports are that one of his daughters, Carly Irsay Gordon, will take over. She's 44. It sounds like she's going to be primarily in charge of the football side of things, and he's been prepping her for a while. And so he was out of sight, out of mind. Obviously, the health stuff wasn't going in the direction that anybody would want it to go. Wasn't around for the draft. She was there in the draft room, so I'm sure she'll try to honor her father the best way she can by getting the Colts back to the promised land the way Jim and Bill Polian and Peyton Manning and all those guys under his watch had the Colts as a machine in the AFC for a long time.
Yeah. Very sad. Obviously 65, and like I said, they were a kind of a villainous family with his dad pulling out of Baltimore in the middle of the night and the moving vans and all that. But the Baltimore politicians, from everything I had read, didn't do him any favors. They played where the Orioles played, Memorial Stadium. It was a dump. Wanted improvements. You know the story. Yeah. Was being lured and courted by Phoenix and Jacksonville, and I think Memphis. I can't remember. Maybe those were the big three. And then Indianapolis lands him in the Hoosier Dome and all that. In fact, Ohio State, on their way in the 99 Final Four, when I kind of was hopscotching around with them, Chicago for the Big Ten tournament, and then I believe their first stop was Indy at the RCA Dome, and then it was to Knoxville, and then obviously down to Tampa.
I want to go back to something you said about it, because the journey of how he got to becoming the owner is wild. It's wild. Ball boy to GM to the face that runs the place. I couldn't imagine being a kid and being a ball boy and having any thoughts of, I'm going to run this joint. This is going to be my house, but that's what he was. And I think that part of the story is my favorite part of the story because it's so rare that you hear things like that and you come from those type of beginnings as just a young lad roaming around, and then you get to call the shots. It's awesome.
Maddie, it was when his dad had a stroke in the mid-'90s. I was at Channel 6, and his father obviously couldn't run the team anymore, and he became the GM and the CEO. And his dad's second wife, so his stepmom, put a claim on the team that she owned the team.
Okay.
And then this guardian of the estate, I guess he had a real dispute with the stepmom on how this thing was going to be run. And then when his dad died a year later in 97, then he became the youngest
Sounds
sole
like
owner
some
in the
Game
NFL.
of Thrones, Lannisters type of stuff going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And he had success that his father never achieved by moving the team. And then he even remember when I don't know if you were doing the show or I was with Bob, but I think you were on the show when he cut Manning, with the neck and all that, where he basically had to say, hey.
That took some what.
Yeah.
Took some what to do that.
The other part of the story I remember now, it just came to me. Baltimore, when his dad owned the team, the Colts, that was the team that Elway didn't want to go to. And they wound up trading him to Denver. And that really came back to haunt until all of this came about in Indianapolis. All right, we will come back. We'll get it going with you today. We've got a choke job last night of fairly epic proportion. Or do we have a new hero emerging? We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness, Ohio State's experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. When your illness or injury can't wait, the choice is clear.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
Another day, another Pete Rose milestone. We don't have enough time to list all Pete's records. He's got a whole page in the record book. But one of those record-breaking moments happened on this May 22nd, 1985, when Pete scored in a game in Chicago. It was the 2,108th time Pete had scored a run, and that broke Hank Aaron's National League record for most runs scored. When he retired a year later, he had reached 2,165 runs scored, which, in case you are wondering, is about 147 miles of runs. Rose didn't wind up first on the all-time runs scored list. That honor goes to Ricky Henderson. But Pete broke the National League record this May 22nd, 1985. This date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. A lot of dealerships not stocking much inventory right now because of reasons. But at Jermaine Lexus, they have new inventory arriving every day. Get what you want when you want it. Lease the all-new NX350 for as low as $389 per month. How about rates as low as 3.99% up to 48 months and 4.49% up to 60 months on their most popular models? Jermaine Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton. Check them out online, JermaineLexus.com.
Our double hung is as good as it gets. There's something really simple. It's called an interlock. We interlock our windows. The interlock is the absolute best way to alleviate air infiltration. With the interlock, it's harder to break into. When you interlock the sashes, it makes a better window. It's just a darn good window, and we're very proud of it.
Call Rizzotti today at 777-4806.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens of your latest forecast. Keep an umbrella nearby for scattered showers throughout this afternoon. Those chances diminish tonight. It's going to be a struggle to make the upper 50s for highs today, with 40s expected overnight. Friday, high near 60, more sunshine, isolated afternoon shower possible. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Like Yoda, Rothman will limp onto the golf course, talk about how stiff his back is, wonder how he can even make it through a hole, and then proceed to kick your ass. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Epic choke last night by the Knicks.
Ooh, wait.
That's as bad as it gets. Ooh. I mean, I want to sit here and give credit to Halliburton. Although, to quote my dad, he missed it so bad he made it. Like, that's...
Oh, man.
That's when you know. That's not the shooter's role. That's like the shooter's lottery. Like, that's unbelievable.
It reminded me of the Kawhi Leonard shot against the 76ers in Toronto years ago when he iced that game and Joel Embiid was seen crying in the tunnel. I couldn't believe what my eyes were watching last night, because the New York Knicks, AR, for the majority of that game, you couldn't draw it up any better. Your two star players, Jalen Brunson, cooking. Cat cooking, getting some good stuff from all the other role players around them on your home floor. MSG is rocking. Ben Stiller's there. John Hamm is there. This is exactly what you wanted. And then the Pacers and that gang led by Tyrese Halliburton do it again. This is for a third round, 3 straight rounds where they have pulled off incredible comebacks. And the Knicks are going to be kicking themselves if they're bounced in the next round because of this game, because I don't know how you get over this game in the way that you lost on your home floor in epic proportion.
You know, I agree with you, and that it's very tough mentally. It hurt the Cavs. It didn't break the Cavs, but it definitely damaged them. They were dealing with other stuff, too, with injuries. But right. I said yesterday, I think a lot of Cavs fans believe this. If they don't blow game 2, it's a good chance that thing's going 7. Or they're going to win it. It had that kind of deal. And now the pressure is tremendously on them to win game 2. So I think that's where it goes for me. Let me back this up with a stat on how big of a choke this was. The Knicks led by 14 points with 2:51 left in the game. So there have been 994 teams that have been in that situation in the playoffs in the, play-by-play era. 994 that have led by 14 in the playoffs with 2:51 left.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many have lost?
0.
Yeah.
Nuts.
0. I mean, this is like that when I came in that day and I had picked up Casey DeSmith of the Stars, and they let up 3 goals in the final minute of the game. and then lost in overtime. In the history of the NHL, that's never happened.
Never.
So that's how big of a choke it is.
Yeah.
Now, they can say it, and I think TLC has some Tom Thibodeau sound here about, and I don't think they're completely dismissing it. They're coming up with a little of your cliches, but TLC, what did Thibodeau have to say about this epic collapse?
Here is him talking about blowing the fourth quarter lead.
They can score the ball. Nesmith got loose. Haliburton hit big shots. You just can never let your guard down against them. No lead is safe.
Coaching. I'm telling you, I'd like to blame the players, and they weren't playing great defense. How can you? It's on him. It's on him. Usually I like to put it more on the players, a high percentage. And Brunson wasn't playing great defense, and then you had a ridiculously, you would call it lucky shot at the end. But you can't put yourself in that position. Have you not been watching the Pacers, New York?
This is what they do, man.
Do you really think of all teams, Matty, that's the team that you drop your guard on?
It's wild, though, because on nobody's bingo card was Aaron Nesmith turning into Steph Curry. That was just incredible shot making from him. I mean, 8 of 9 from 3 for a guy that is not a very good three-point shooter. That stuff's unforeseen. You're Tom Thibodeau, Jalen Brunson. You ain't expecting that. You're not. I thought the Pacers made some incredible shots down the stretch. What helped them? Because there had to be so much wrong. When you have a collapse like this, there has to be so many things that fall in a bad way if you're the team that blows the lead the way the Knicks did. And it was Aaron Nesmith out of his mind, the shot from Tyrese Haliburton, and then you have your own guys in crunch time late in the fourth quarter in overtime, and Cat missing a key free throw. Jalen Brunson missing a key free throw. Same thing for OG and Anunoby, and they just kept leaving the door open and cracked and cracked and cracked eventually until the Pacers knocked that thing down and came out of MSG with a Game 1 victory and ripping the hearts out of the Knicks. I don't care what they say. That is a demoralizing loss because now the Pacers, again in another series, have wiggle room and have room, a little bit of room for error, and the pressure of the world is now on the team in the New York Knicks to absolutely, in a do-or-die game for me in Game 2. You lose that, the series done.
Yes, I would think. But I wonder, with all the pressure on the Knicks, and it was Game 1. It was a Game 1. Mm-hmm. Series isn't over. When Haliburton goes to the choke sign.
Oh, I loved it.
And they haven't even won the game yet. Now, he thought they did.
Yeah.
Right?
He thought he had a 3.
Can you imagine if they lose the game in OT and that comes back to haunt him? Like, he thought the game was over.
Yeah. But that's an all-time moment from him with Reggie Miller in the building.
Well, so he did Reggie's,
of course.
Reggie's move.
And now the hope,
but it didn't win the game.
It didn't win the game.
He thought it did.
But the fact that dude has that in the back of his mind to do that in that moment is absolutely insane. And here's the other thing. History showed us when Reggie Miller did that choke side, the Pacers lost that series. They did not go on to win.
What I'm telling you,
series.
That he pulled something in Game 1 that was heroic. Yeah. But I'm wondering if now the pressure is so much on the Pacers because of what he did. I know that.
I don't think the choke sign adds any pressure. All the pressure of the world's on the New York Knicks. For me. Like, that moment is going to live on forever. And look, to your point, it worked out. Lucky for him that it worked out and they won the game. But that's what it's all about. That's basketball. That's sports theater right there. And I was thinking about you and I the other day because we were having a conversation and kind of reacting to the boys, Bo and the gang, about do these series have enough pull for people that aren't Knicks, Pacers fans, or on the other side, Thunder or Timberwolves fans. And this shows you right here, this is just what we wanted. These type of games is why when you get to this point, doesn't matter who it is, you can have these moments. And if you're a sports fan, I think you genuinely should enjoy this stuff.
Listen, Bo was dead on right that it didn't have the star of stars. It's not the guys we've been used to, LeBron and Curry and all that.
Yeah,
he's right. And it wasn't the major market teams. The only thing, I wasn't debating whether they were right or wrong, whether he was right or wrong. I got sad listening that this is where we are as sports fans. Mm-hmm. Like, if you call yourself a sports fan, Why do you have to be 100% passionate about that team to want to watch that game that's so meaningful? I can understand a regular season game.
Yeah.
If Edmonton's playing Dallas, of course you're not going to watch that unless you're just a diehard hockey fan or you have money on it. But the Pacers and the Knicks in an Eastern Conference Finals.
That's historic rivalry right there.
I don't need to like either one of them to want to watch that.
Right.
And we got the payoff last night.
Yeah, you threw out that amazing stat. I'll throw this one at you because yours was good, and I saw this floating around. The 23 points the Pacers cooked up in that final 3 minutes and 14 seconds is the most in playoff history going back to 1997 since the play-by-play era began. And so they did something that's never been done, and you mentioned that record, and nobody ever winning those games, over 900-plus games. It was an absolute banger of a game, man, inside one of the best venues in sports. That's the other thing, too. Inside Madison Square Garden, you get that? That's just beautiful stuff that we got, and they absolutely delivered. And so we'll see what Tom Thibodeau and his crew can cook up, because not only is it the pressure of this individual series, but they put themselves inside of a championship window with the assets that they gave up to bring in Mikal Bridges, to bring in Karl Anthony Towns. And so they got to get off the mat. They have to get off the mat ASAP, because if they don't, this series will be over pretty quickly.
What a collapse.
Yeah.
Knicks gave up 20 points in the final 239. Choke away a 14-point lead and lose an OT.
Mm-hmm.
And
poor Spike Lee.
The choke sign is out for Halliburton.
Reggie Miller was loving it.
It is, I don't know, maybe if you weren't interested in this series before,
maybe this will bring
this
you
may
in.
bring you in.
You know where you need to go, folks, and what should bring you in if you need a new vehicle. It is McDaniel GM Superstore, because this is where I go to get my vehicles, and this is where you need to be. They have rates as low as 0.9% for approved buyers. They have over 150 new vehicles on their website. McDaniel GM Superstore believes in transparency with every car deal. No market adjustments or hidden costs, which is huge in this economic climate due to tariffs. Their sales managers are right there on the floor and accessible to the public, and they're not hiding in their office. They're out there greeting you with warm arms open. They'll give you a hug when you walk in the door, like they do me every time I go there. They've got a 2025 Silverado 1500, and you can get up to $11,000 off MSRP. Visit McDaniel GM Superstore for your next vehicle. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
All right, we come back with Memorial Tournament Director Dan Sullivan, and I'll push him to the edge. Who we got, who we missing, who can we attract from a athlete standpoint for next week? You'll hear it all in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
It's time to make your yard the best on the block with Memorial Day savings at the Home Depot. Start by keeping the weeds at bay with Earthgrow mulch, now 4 for $10. Then keep your garden thriving with Miracle-Gro garden soil, now on special buy, 4 for $10. Give your neighbors yard envy all summer long with Memorial Day savings going on now at the Home Depot.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony's tennis shorts were so tight, they had to pixelate his crotch. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Do what it takes. And this man has been doing what it takes out at Memorial for many years. Best tournament director around. He's our friend Dan Sullivan. Busy man, a lot on his plate as he continues to finalize the field and get things set for just a incredible week. It's not just the golf, it's everything that's associated with it in Dublin and the whole week. And then the fact that Barbara Nicholas is the honoree this year is just off the charts, jam-packed, and he's with us now. Danny, good to have you, my man.
Anthony, how you doing?
We're doing great. All right, so where should I start? I'll spin the wheel for you.
So many options. So many options.
Do you want me to start with the obvious or?
Yeah.
Okay. We haven't heard from Rory yet. And I know where this tournament is now 2 weeks before the Open. I think he historically likes to play maybe the week before. Is this going to be one that's going to be tough to wrangle in at this point now on Wednesday? Where are we with Rory, the current Masters champ?
Yeah, he has 2 more days to commit. He's got to commit by Friday at 6 o'clock at the completion of play of the Colonial. My expectation is that he will not commit and play in the tournament, but you never know. So we're going to leave that door open, but with the expectation that he most likely won't. My sense is Rory has a plan that he likes to work through, which is play the week before the major and play a major. We obviously love our date, which is 2 weeks before a major and 2 weeks after a major. We really like this date. Everyone has come accustomed to it. And so we're really confident about where we are. And we're also confident that, as it plays out right now, I bet we're going to have, barring injury, we're going to have 68 out of the top 70, 69 out of the top 70. So I feel really good about where we are. But every once in a while, as you guys know, in the world of professional golf, sometimes schedules don't match up. And I think that may be the case with Rory.
Well, you can only do so much from your end of it, right? Obviously, you want him. Jack wants him. And it's funny because, after he seals up the Grand Slam, this is almost the one that's on the list that would complete everything now for him.
He's been consistent in playing here over the years. I think he skipped maybe twice I can't recall the reasons. He enjoys being here. I know that. He's obviously very friendly with the Nicklases and have a great relationship with both, and has been a crowd favorite, obviously. So, you know what? If we miss him this year, I'm confident we'll get him next year or the years after. And we kind of need to focus on, we always try to focus on, obviously, the players that are arriving here and playing and knowing how strong it's going to be.
Dan, it's good to hear from you again. I want to ask you about Jack. I know we hear from him every once in a while, and I know some people from 10 TV and the station get a chance to catch up with Jack a couple times throughout the year. But how has he been doing, and how is he feeling about the course and getting ready for another Memorial?
Thanks, man. He is doing awesome. He's really looking forward to it. Both he and Barbara will be here over the weekend with Jackie and Allie and Steve and Krista. It's truly a family affair. This more than ever, obviously, with Barbara being honored as our memorial honoree. I think he's excited to see that, he didn't do any changes to the golf course last year. We've gotten a ton of rain. It can't get any more lush. I will tell you, we decided to shut down play for members and everybody this week just because there's just too much rain. So my sense is he's going to come and see a really perfect golf course. Knowing the technology and the capabilities that Chad Mark has, he and his team, the golf course will be impeccable. And I think Jack's going to be really excited about what he sees and looking forward to a great week.
All right, get ready. I'm going to rapid fire some names at you. And you've already hinted now who's coming. But for my boy Matty over here to the right, who successfully picked him the year he won it, but didn't actually bet on him. Victor Hovland, one of your champs, coming back?
Yes, Victor Hovland's coming back.
Okay.
absolutely.
The young Swede that everyone thinks has a lot of majors in him at some point, Ludvig Åberg.
Ludvig or Ludvig?
Ludvig. You tell me.
I go with Ludvig.
Okay. He's in.
Coming.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, a couple tricky ones because I don't know if they actually qualify, and because it's like reading War and Peace to try to find out how to qualify for this thing. And I really want him here because I remember when he first came here, it was like kind of like a Beatle coming in, like when Sergio did, but Ricky Fowler.
Yes, Ricky Fowler's coming, and you're right. Ricky Fowler did not qualify on his own performance last year on the PGA Tour or this year, so he is one of our exemptions.
Okay.
Into the field.
Here's another one for you. I don't think Jordan Spieth qualified.
That's exactly right. It's amazing. Jordan's been playing well, but he hasn't qualified because of all the new qualification standards on tour. Jordan is outside looking in, and he's been extended an exemption, so he's coming to play.
Awesome. Boy, that's great.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So you went 4 for 4 there. Nice.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for picking the right ones. This new world order, when we have signature events and the field sizes are smaller, we're 72 players. It is really hard to get into these fields. So the good news for us is we have the strongest field you can possibly put together. The bad news for the players is that if you have a little bit of a down run, if you had a tough year, if you're just not performing well in the current year, then there's a chance you're not going to be able to get in, and that's the reality of what we're facing today.
Dana, I want to ask you about Scottie Scheffler, right? I mean, the names Jack and Tiger will live on forever as two of the most dominant players to ever pick up golf clubs. And Scottie may be on that same pathway, right? You look at the dominance that he has just thrown out there year in and year out. You're a lover of the sport, obviously. Just talk about Scottie and what it means to have him as maybe the new face of golf right now.
Well, he's amazing, number one. I mean, Anthony, you're a big student of the game. You pay attention to these guys and how they swing, and Maddie, I expect you do too. His ability to be so consistent in ball striking is absolutely amazing. He's obviously got a really unique swing. He's very athletic. His feet are moving at impact and after, but he is incredibly solid. And then what he's matched it with is a putting game that he's just improved each and every year. You know, he won the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship 5 years ago, and he was a kind of a rising star coming out of the University of Texas. He won our event here over at Ohio State, and that just propelled him onto the tour, and he hasn't stopped. And I don't see any flaw. He's a big guy that has a really nice swing that fits his build and his personality. And he's got an outlook and a temperament that is hard to beat. I mean, he is driven when he's out on that golf course. He's very mild-mannered off, a great guy, very into his family and just focused on his faith and his family. And on the golf course, he is dialed in and he is tough. We couldn't be more proud that he won last year. He has to be the favorite going into this year. And I'm going to say he and probably Rory are, the favorites going into Oakmont.
Still a cool $4 million to the winner?
Yes. 20% of $20 million goes to the winner. Yes.
It's a nice week. Let me ask you about, I mentioned Barbara Nicholas for the honoree ceremony. They're all fantastic, the honoree ceremonies themselves. Anything in addition, any different flair? Obviously, non-player, wife of Jack, so instrumental in the tournament over the years. Anything we should look forward to that you can give us a little hint on?
Yeah, first, I hope that everyone who's interested and is able to come out on Wednesday comes to the ceremony. My estimation, it'll be the largest attended ceremony we've had, maybe since Jack, and maybe even exceeding Jack. What you're going to find there are a number of current players who have had a long relationship with Barbara and Jack, but primarily Barbara. I mean, there are players that have a really strong relationship as she being a mother figure to them. You'll see a lot of player wives and spouses and significant others. They're both present and past. We have a nice contingent of folks coming in who have been friends for years. And our list of captains, obviously, will all be here. We have a fair amount of celebrities playing in the Pro-Am. Everyone is interested, universally interested in the fact that Barbara's the honoree, and for good reason. She has meant everything to the Memorial Tournament. She's meant everything to, frankly, the PGA Tour. Not many people realize she was instrumental in creating something called the PGA Tour Lives organization, which raises money for charities around the country. She and Jack obviously started their own foundation. She's incredibly instrumental in what we've done with Nationwide Children's Hospital. All she does is give to others and raise money for children's health care across the country, and she does it better than anybody I've ever known, and she's as worthy of a recipient as anybody we've ever had.
No doubt. She's absolutely wonderful. I will ask you this before we cut you loose. Give me a little, can you confirm now that Golden State is out of the playoffs that I will see Steph Curry on the grounds, and will he be playing in the Pro-Am?
Yes, we're going to have Steph Curry here, along with a couple other celebrities that have been known to come year over year. Peyton Manning, Larry Fitzgerald, Noah Khan, the artist, the singer. He's actually in town to play in the Pro-Am and then be a part of our headline our benefit concert on Thursday night. And then there are Michelle Wee West, and then there will be a list of others that we are waiting to confirm, and we'll kind of hold out until everyone is out on property and see them on the golf course. But it'll be a nice collection of all the top stars in professional golf and a really great list of celebrities. If you remember the Memorial way back when in 76 and forward, Jack always had celebrities here. He had Sean Connery here. He had Gerald Ford. He had Bob Hope. He had Sammy Davis Jr. All these guys came in the beginning of the Memorial. There was a period when we didn't have a lot of celebrities in the Pro-Am, but we're back at it with our partner Workday, and we couldn't be more happy with it.
MemorialTickets.com, right until tomorrow at midnight?
Through Friday night.
Through Friday night. My bad. Okay.
Through Friday night. That's right. And then from that point on, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we will have daily tickets available for practice rounds. And then beyond that, we are sold out for the week starting Friday night.
All right. You know when I love a good rain out, Dan? I like it on media day, ironically. You know why? Because that means I get to keep the cup for several years, and it just keeps carrying over.
Exactly right.
Tell Sprouse to keep that thing shined up, spit shined up.
Exactly. You got it.
You're the best. Have a great week. We'll see you soon. Thanks for breaking news on our show. I owe you.
Yeah, you guys are great. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay. Thanks, Dan Sullivan, the best. Tournament director out at Memorial Muirfield Village Golf Club. Next week should be outstanding. We come back, switch gears to the NFL. George Pickens, brand new man. For how long? We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Common Man and Bob Capace here for Worthington Jewelers. Bob, you know what I love the most about you?
That I pay you to do these commercials?
That, and the way you treat your customers.
All right, listen. I will hook you up in our warm, inviting environment. You will be greeted by our top sales professionals that are non-commissioned, but will help guide you through the entire process.
You're my guy, Bob. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com. Tell them Bob Capace sent you.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-324-VEIN. That's 614-324-VEIN. Or loveyourveins.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10 TV and The Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes. This week's honoree is Natalie Lorenz from Delaware. Natalie is a fire dispatcher who coordinates resources during major incidents and provides instructions to callers before the fire department arrives, going above and beyond the call of duty. Her professionalism, compassion, and strength make her an invaluable asset to her workplace and community. Natalie is a true unsung hero who deserves to be recognized.
Hiring today for tomorrow with WM.
A stable career and a safe environment. That's what you get as a heavy-duty mechanic at WM.
Plus great benefits like 100% tuition coverage for you and your family.
WM is now hiring heavy-duty mechanics in Columbus. Get boot and tool allowance and additional pay with a Cummins certification or CDL license.
There are openings for CDL truck drivers too with home daily routes.
Apply online at careers.wm.com. That's careers.wm.com.
A people-first, military-friendly, equal opportunity employer.
The Fan is headed to the Memorial. Are you ready for 30 hours of live coverage? Oh, it's true, baby.
Sponsored by The Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. TheWaterworks.com.
The best Memorial coverage. The Fan.
He's coming. Here he comes. Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for a new one out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part you ordered doesn't fit, so it's completely useless. What a waste.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The power of Dell AI with Intel Inside is transforming the world of pro sports. Teams can see curveballs coming with predictive analytics. Coaches can use AI insights to help players improve their shots in real time. And fans can get more out of every winning moment with AI-enhanced replays.
Unbelievable! What a play!
See how Dell Technologies with Intel Inside can power your wins at Dell.com/win.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
A perfect afternoon parlay. This is Rothman and Ice.
You know, we probably should bring in the loose cannon on this conversation. It feels like everybody wants to go to Pittsburgh, and the receivers just never really truly hit the finish line, right?
Oh, really? Haven't noticed.
I mean, Antonio Brown was amazing. But
Yeah,
Deontay and Pickens,
I don't
and
know,
like
They wear out their welcome a little bit.
Well, or they take on guys that are
We
just
have this second-round
problems.
curse, if you haven't noticed.
Wow.
The Pittsburgh Steelers select Juju Smith-Schuster from USC.
Pretty good in the Super Bowl.
The 49th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, Pittsburgh Steelers select Chase Claypool, wide receiver, Notre Dame.
He was great in college.
It's my honor to welcome
This is Claypool, by the way.
52nd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers select George Pickens, Georgia.
I can only imagine what is going through Mike Tomlin's mind right now.
Probably nothing good.
Juju was doing well on the Chiefs.
Here's what I'll say.
Right.
You
On
guys
the
have a
Chiefs.
very
Despite
good eye.
blowing out a knee or whatever.
You guys have a very good eye for talent at that position.
That's right.
It's just the dudes themselves and kind of how they're wired.
That's right.
Gets a little funky over time.
And they're not the only ones that take chances on
not at all.
talent that's got character
Right.
issues. Absolutely.
Oh, my gosh. Jerry Jones has made a living off of it.
No doubt.
He's doing it again.
100%. Andy Reid does it for years. Andy Reid will do the same thing.
Antonio Brown, Chase Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster, George Pickens.
Now DK
Deontay
Metcalf.
Johnson.
You
like,
could say
there's talent in there, man. We could field a pretty good team.
Yep.
You could say that we spent this year's second-round pick on DK Metcalf, and that would be true.
Do you think that these guys had? Well, I don't know if Claypool had any problems at Notre Dame. I don't think he did.
I don't remember hearing that.
Like, this isn't a behavior problem that dates back to college.
He was just a bust. He just turned out to be a bust.
Shouldn't have been.
The skill set, you think that he's one
Physical
of those
receiver.
draw him up in a lab type of receivers. He definitely looked the part. He just, when he got to the league, he couldn't put it all together. Like the skill set was there, but I don't know if it was a fit on offense or he just wasn't a complete receiver as you would like. But yeah, he turned out to be a bust. That was one that they hit on for a little bit, but in time when he moved on from Pittsburgh, you could tell he just wasn't meant long for the league.
But Chase Claypool was really good his rookie year.
That's what I'm saying. Initially,
he
they
had like
hit
11 touchdowns or something.
Yeah, they hit early, and then after that, it just faded away pretty quickly.
I call that JT Barrett syndrome when you just get progressively worse every single year.
Oh, wow.
Just body and JT right there.
That's some special commentary right there.
Christian Hackenberg also had it at Penn State.
Oh, my goodness. That's true. That is very true. But the whole George Pickens thing now is going to be fascinating to watch, AR, over there in Dallas.
Will he come back to haunt our boy in
Possibly. But the reason why it's so interesting to me is because is he going to be a good teammate this year only because of the money? Because that's what's really on the line for him. Is this is a contract year. Nobody disputes how talented the guy is, and I think TLC's got some sound for Pickens on how things are going on over there so far in Dallas.
Oh, yeah. He's talking to the Dallas media, and everything's a laughing matter over there.
Yeah. Hard work, you know what I mean? Just the way of just keep going, you know what I mean? That's kind of what I feel like I bring from Pittsburgh to the Cowboys, you know what I mean? Just hard work, super hard work. Never get too high, never get too low.
Lie.
Shotty said he beat you in a free throw contest.
Yeah.
You beat him a couple times. When did this contest take place?
The first day I came up here, we did a little shooting and I beat him. Then the next day, he literally brought me up here only to shoot basketball, and then he beat me, so.
Have y'all done a dinner yet?
Yeah, we have at the Cowboys Club. The culture, too, that's the thing. Like, it's super refreshing with a different culture.
Super refreshing with a different culture.
I don't take that as a slam on Pittsburgh. Maybe I should. I think he just kind of was leaning into something new.
Something new.
It's a new call. I mean, I've seen it around on social media that was a complete slam on Pittsburgh. These guys, he's got a new outlook. He's got a better mindset right now. How long this lasts, who knows? He's not playing yet. He sounds like a brand new man.
Right.
Am I really going to buy that yet?
To your point, he's not running routes and just getting his cardio in, watching number 88 on the opposite side get all the work from Dak. That's going to be where the rubber hits the road for George Pickens, and we'll really see, is he a changed man? Because if franchises rarely give up on guys at his age that are that talented without truly knowing that this guy's an issue or just getting to a point to where you're absolutely fed up and you don't think he's worth your time, which clearly Pittsburgh believes. And so, like TLC said, Jerry Jones has never had an issue bringing in guys like this. This is a lottery ticket for them, and you hope it cashes in, because if it does, then you're talking about one of the most dynamic wide receiver duos in the sport. And CeeDee Lamb's been on record right now. And again, this is before the games are being played, obviously. And he's saying, no, we're both number ones. There's no A or B. There's ones on both sides. So it sounds like CeeDee is welcoming him in right now with open arms, but we know how receivers can get when Dak is dropping back and you're in a couple quarters of a game and the rock ain't coming your way.
Would it be fair to say that all of their receivers that have been sent away for non-performance issues?
I'm not sure about that. I think both are in play. Like Juju and Chase Claypool.
Deontay.
AB was still balling when he was in Pittsburgh. I think when he got to Tampa, he still was a dude.
Martavius Bryant.
Actually, that's something that I've heard in Pittsburgh sports radio is like Antonio Brown never played full seasons. If you tabulated all of his seasons, like his half season in New England, his half season in Tampa Bay, and then you compiled all that together, it makes a full season of over 1,000 yards.
I'll tell you this, though. As a Ravens fan, going up against that guy twice a year, he was terrifying. 84 was an absolute nightmare to deal with. He can make a case for those years that he was the best receiver in the league.
Oh, yeah. And it started against your team, too. He started throwing Gatorade jugs against the Ravens.
He was nuts.
Actually, you know what? Mentioned CD. Wasn't CD Lamb throwing tantrums on the sidelines for Dallas against your Ravens last year?
There was some stuff with he and Dak, too, I believe.
He had some diva in him last year.
That's what the receivers do. That's why when the rare ones that come along, like Larry Fitzgerald and Calvin Johnson and like A.J. Green, you don't see those guys that often. A lot of these guys exist in Pittsburgh. To your point, AR has had their hands on a lot of them.
They have.
And now they got another one that they just paid $100 million in DK.
And we're told that, the Mike Tomlin can cure all and get these guys locked in.
He's a former receiver himself, so I think he sees some of himself in these guys and thinks that because he knows that position that he can cater to their needs. I think that's why some of this is still going on is because Mike Tomlin used to play receiver.
All right, we're going to come back top of the hour after SportsCenter update, and we'll get into the Buckeyes. And is there a chance that opener could still get moved? It's fairly one-sided. We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on the Buckeye Show. News, special guests, and everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same-game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness. Ohio State's experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. When your illness or injury can't wait, the choice is clear.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. It is a big sale at Universal Windows Direct. You're getting an incredible 50% off your windows. That's half off, and it gets even better. For a limited time, you get no interest and no payments for 12 months. That's a whole year. I got to tell you when something's half and when something's a year. You also get a free entry door with your window purchase. Schedule your free in-home estimate today. Give them a call, 614-502-5220, or visit universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place. Leslie, what's that hot lamp against your window for?
Pella windows are tested up to 160 degrees Wilson to ensure efficiency and the lowest energy bills possible, even in the craziest of temperatures. Put your hand on there.
All right. God, that's hot.
On the window, Wilson.
Oh, hey, that is quite nice and cool. So I'm going to go grab some ice now.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rated #1 for innovation at PellaColumbus.com.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
This just in, the NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Memorial Tournament Director Dan Sullivan was on with Rothman and Ice, and he announced that Victor Hovland, Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth, Ludwig Odberg, Tony Finau will all play in the tournament next week. He also said that they do not expect Rory to be in the field. They're in the top of the fourth over at Huntington Park, and the Clippers lead the Iowa Cubs 1-0. Milan Tolentino, a solo home run. The Cleveland Guardians are in Detroit to start a series with the first-place Tigers at 6:40 tonight. Cleveland is 6 games back of Detroit in the Central. Team USA beat Team Finland 5-2 at the World Championships this morning. CBJ defenseman Zach Werenski with 2 assists for the red, white, and blue. Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals tonight as Oklahoma City hosts Minnesota at 8:30. So sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union, rates as low as 5.54% and a $400 cash bonus when you refinance with BMI.
Their live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, second hour of the program. At 1:30, we're going to let our guard down a little bit and allow 10 TV's Adam King to stroll in here.
Come on in, AK.
We're going to hold an audition for a potential, weekly segment. It's going to be an audition.
Well, he better bring it then. He better be on his A game.
And we'll see if the man who sits on the porcelain throne over there can bring it or not. There's no truth to the rumor that he's heard Dom and Nicole get attached to shows here at the Fan.
Oh.
He felt a little left out.
Okay.
And because it's one of those where I don't know whether he would have picked us first. We're kind of the last chair available when the music stopped. So if there was a draft,
we'll have to ask him that. We got to ask him that. AK, if there was a draft of shows, would we be your 1-1 on the board?
I don't know if he would have turned in that index card.
He's going to lie because he has no choice to lie.
That's right. Because the truth may hurt.
You say he's sitting on a porcelain throne. See, that's a complete downgrade from what I say he sits on because I have him on every Saturday for our pregame show with myself, DeVere, Posey, and Dane, and I always bring him on, and I say the man that sits on the Iron Throne.
You're being too kind.
At 10 TV. So you're saying I need to downgrade his throne a little bit.
Yeah, he prefers the porcelain throne, where a man can really get some thinking done.
Oh, man.
But he'll join us at 1:30, and we'll see what he has going on over there for his 3-minute sportscast. Figure it out. All right. So
100 days.
100 days.
100 days away from the old Scarlet and Gray taking on Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns. The countdown has begun.
Maddie, yesterday we had Stephen Natron Means on the show.
Yeah, he's awesome. Does a great job covering Buckeye football for Cleveland.com, so check his stuff out.
And I asked him, is Ross Bjork taking this whole noon opener against Texas laying down? Just nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Fox strokes the big money.
Waving the white flag.
I mean, if you're going to take the money, I guess you got to take the time.
First you get the money.
Then you got a power. Then you get a woman. So I wonder, so there was a story that came out on 24/7 Sports, these are our guys over at Bucknuts. Biddle, Pat Murphy. That Texas, this is the headline, Texas is standing in the way of a later kickoff to Week 1 game at Ohio State. That the Longhorns are not, it says, keen on moving one of the season's biggest games back a day. So there was I guess Ohio State was proposing to Fox they would move the game back from Saturday, August 30th to prime time on Sunday, August 31st.
Yeah, either in that late afternoon window or a night game. That's what the proposal was.
Is that what it says?
That's what it's being reported as, AR. And I'll read this for you real quick. It says, according to 24/7 Sports, Texas said no to the request, so the game will remain on Saturday as scheduled. It'll likely be a noon kickoff, but a set time should be officially finalized later this month. From the Longhorns' vantage point, they likely view the game, moving the game a day later to accommodate to OSU's desire for a primetime window as only a detriment to their chances of leaving Columbus with a win.
So I almost want to say, well, no blank. Why would they want to move it?
Right.
Now, call them cowards. Call them, oh, you don't want the prime time. You're afraid. Call them what you want. Mm-hmm. But I can't imagine, first of all, Fox has the right to move it or not. I don't think they have to get Texas to agree to anything. Right? Like if they really wanted to, right. They're telling the teams when they're playing, just like they're telling Ohio State the game's at noon. So,
and I also don't think Fox would want to move that game to a night game because of the direct competition with ABC and ESPN. Because Week 1, ABC has, I believe, LSU and Clemson in that 7:30 slot. I'm pretty sure that's the game. So if you're Fox, you want kind of that standalone time slot for this banger of a game without competing with another network and other eyeballs.
So I'm sitting here thinking, well, I wouldn't necessarily blame them for not wanting the night game at the Shoe, feeling that it would be a bigger disadvantage to them. And then on the other hand, I'm thinking, why are we even asking them? Like, they're the road team.
Well,
they're the
like
guests.
You said, Fox has the end-all, be-all in this, right? And so OSU asking Texas, I hear what you're saying, like, what does that really matter? But this has to come from the top down, it sounds like. And if Fox is not budging, then it doesn't matter what either party wants in this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not telling you this game shouldn't be at night. It should.
Absolutely.
Of course it should.
100%.
But I don't.
And look, when we get to the game, AR, the excitement's going to be through the roof. I don't know how many Buckeye fans that day waking up are going to be strolling around, moping around because the game's at noon. Maybe there'll be some out there, but the atmosphere is going to be awesome. We'll be foaming at the mouth to get back to football and to get to this specific matchup and a rematch of what we saw in the postseason and how good that game was with Jack Sawyer with one of the best defensive plays in the history of the program. But what you said is where a lot of people are, and I'm with you. When you have a chance to have these brands, you want it on the biggest stage and under the brightest lights. And that's when the sun goes down and you've had all day to marinate on this thing. And all the other games, for the most part, are out of the way. And it's just you and the Longhorns, and let's get it on. That's what you want. But it's unfortunate because Ohio State got in bed with the Big Ten. Ohio State got in bed with Fox. And this is where a lot of those Fox games are going to be slotted because from Fox's side of things, you could understand that their biggest fish, one of their biggest fishes, is always going to be Ohio State.
Sleeps with the fishes.
And so you're always going to put them in what you think is an advantageous time slot. And for Fox, this is what they think is more advantageous for them.
Like I said, this is fairly obvious. Of course they don't want to play at a scarlet out, blackout, whatever game you've got at the Shoe.
Well, especially on a Sunday night, too, which may affect their next week, right? Who knows what that looks like as far as their preparation and how they get their players, back in the lab and feeling good. Like, we have no idea what that looks like. But to your point, you want to avoid that at all costs.
I wonder where this would really sting is if, well, A, if you lost the game, and B, if in 26 you're going there and it's a
Night game?
Big,
In Austin?
massive time. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And Arch is coming back and all that.
Right.
So then you'd have a real problem with the home and home. But yeah, I really don't know how this works. I'm sure Ohio State was pushing for the best home atmosphere advantage you could possibly have, and that would be later at night. And so I really don't know where this is going. It doesn't sound like it's going anywhere. Now, I have not seen, you said it was sources. I haven't seen anybody from, Texas certainly doesn't want to admit that, yeah, if we're going to play the game, we want to play it at noon. But of course that's the truth. Why wouldn't it be? Like, I'm just trying to look at it, be objective here. Mm-hmm. Why would they want to move the game? So you can blame them for being afraid or this or that and throw out that kind of stuff. But the bottom line is every team's looking for an advantage, especially if you're on the road. You don't want a massive disadvantage. But
no doubt.
It's a bummer. I'm not denying that. Mm-hmm. It's a bummer. That game to start the season at night should be the game. The national champs hosting Texas, revenge game, playoff game. All that exists in this pot of stew, and you'd want to showcase that in front of as many people as you can in the entire country.
Right, and we had Stephen Meads on, as you mentioned, and he brought up what is an important angle, and it's the recruiting angle of this as well, and allowing guys that are maybe coming from the West Coast or whatever that are playing games Friday night to have more runway and more time to get to Columbus and get settled in, because he used the C.J. Stroud example, and C.J. played his high school ball out in Cali. So you're playing a Friday night game that ends, 10 o'clock California time, and having to immediately go home or hop on a bird, and you get in super late, or you're taking a super early flight from Cali into Columbus. That's a lot. And so for Ryan Day, for the recruiting aspect of it as well, it's a big piece too.
All right, we'll come back. We had mentioned that Deshaun Watson is throwing a football and on paper may actually be in the mix. Well, the people that cover the team, especially Mary Kay Cabot, has a pretty good insight on whether that could even be possible. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness, Ohio State's experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. When your illness or injury can't wait, the choice is clear.
Many drugs, like cocaine, methamphetamine, and non-prescription pills, are often cut with dangerous opioids like fentanyl. As a result, nearly 14 Ohioans die daily from unintentional overdoses. That's why it's important to carry naloxone, such as Narcan, a life-saving medication that blocks the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. Over the last 5 years, naloxone has saved over 83,000 lives. Help save lives and visit naloxone.ohio.gov to learn more and find free naloxone. Remember, if you see an overdose occurring, always call 911.
Beds are us, when dreams don't get in. Beds are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
Beds are us, when dreams don't get in. Beds are us.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game.
Yes, that's good.
That's you taking another sip of your
Mountain
Do the Do.
It's not a bird or a plane. It's Mega Made discounts at Coughlin Ford. Take over $5,500 off MSRP on a new 24 Ford Escape. Employee price $28,000. Or take over $7,000 off MSRP on new 25 F-150s and 24 F-250s. Visit CoughlinFord.com.
Coughlin has the car for you.
All factory rebates to the dealer. All prior sales excluded. In-stock units only. Must finance through Ford Motor Credit. Not all will qualify. No security deposit required. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. N6225.
career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
It's almost time for the inaugural 9.71 The Race.
Sponsored by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center.
Run, walk, have a beer with Common Man. Whatever strikes your fancy. Sign up today at 971therace.com.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and add considerable value to your property. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Scattered shower chances continue through the afternoon. It is going to be a struggle for the upper 50s for highs today. Temperatures will drop to the 40s tonight as rain shower chances diminish. Could see a stray shower Friday, but mostly dry, more sunshine in the high near 60. Warming up, drying out this weekend. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The best bet on the radio. This is Rothman and Ice.
We talked about, it's not really clickbait because I guess it did happen that Deshaun Watson's throwing a football. I don't know if he's running or doing anything to threaten that Achilles again, but... And I'm sure he gets paid a lot of money to try to get back. No one's counting on him. The Browns aren't counting on him.
He's going to be the highest paid backup in the history of the NFL.
Yes. And I saw on ESPN Cleveland, they were talking about they should try to trade him. And I thought, who are you going to fleece to take him on?
Unless you're eating
what?
Bunch
this
of the money.
Isn't hockey. We're not eating bad contracts.
Right.
What in the world is going on?
Or could we even identify a team that would be desperate enough right now
to take a chance on him?
That needs a starting quarterback to take a chance on Deshaun Watson? I don't know if I can think of a team right now. Maybe
if you were paying him what?
Pennies. That's what I'm saying. Okay. The team that would acquire.
I could probably
pennies.
find.
But
yes,
who even
pennies,
then?
Well, he's dead weight right now, I think. This is not anybody you can count on.
I don't think there's a team.
No.
I don't. Who? Maybe the Saints right now, but they spent, a second-round pick on Tyler Shuck? They got to see what he's got. There's not a team in the NFL that needs him at the moment.
Probably not. I was going to say maybe... Who's quarterbacking the Colts right now?
It's a combo platter of Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson. And they paid Daniel Jones, I think, $13 million.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What if I told you?
What if I told you?
That,
if I had the piano ready.
What if I told you that Tua Tagovailoa said, I gotta retire.
I'm done. I'm hanging it up.
And you handed Miami a chance to say, you can have him for free or next to nothing. A bag of deflated Brady footballs.
I think they would rather see what they have in Zach Wilson than bring in Deshaun because that's who their backup is right now. I just don't know, AR, based off what the dudes put out there on tape, how any head coach, offensive coordinator would say, I want to roll with that guy.
Well, you wouldn't roll with him. What you'd be doing is if you felt he got healthy enough where he could be a viable backup at a nothing price, you might do that because he would be motivated to prove he could still do it.
He's throwing that out there.
And if it didn't cost you anything, then I don't think he'd be a real problem in your room. He's not threatening anybody right now.
And to his credit, you hear what Shedeur Sanders has said about Deshaun and how that dude's been there and been a helpful hand. Like, I do respect that because even right now in Cleveland where things have been a mess for him on the field and the off-the-field stuff, we'll put that aside. But just for football stuff right now, it's been rough, to say the least, for Deshaun. And some of that's been his own doing, but based off of his play. And the other part of that, too, is the injuries that have not left him alone. But Shedeur's thrown it out there that Deshaun's been a good leader and a good vet to call upon if he has questions and needs some guidance.
The only way you rid him of your roster is if he continues to rehab, he gets to the season, he proves that he can do something in a practice, in a preseason game, and you get somebody desperate enough and there's some kind of incredible money break they would get. Nobody wants him.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just, it's ridiculous.
I may have been able to come up with one team.
Can I guess?
Yeah,
who you're thinking of?
Let us guess.
And I'll give you a hint. I hope I'm wrong because I'm rooting for this guy.
You're Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers?
I need some theme music for you. Where are we at? There we go.
You're as cold as ice.
Yeah, get it right every once in a while. Okay, Bryce Young is in that.
All I could come up with, and in my head, I went through all 32 teams.
If we were doing a category of make or break quarterbacks this year, Bryce Young's he's pretty high up there, isn't he?
Yeah,
he came back. He came back second half of the year, looked okay, but now he's got to go. He's got to go. So I think TLC's on to something. That maybe Carolina, if they got in a pinch, would possibly bring him in. Is Dalton still kicking as their backup down there?
Is
he still holding on down there?
I think he's somewhere.
Where's old Andy?
He's hard to keep track of lately, dude.
He's somewhere. I think you're correct. Somewhere is there.
He's still Carolina. Okay.
Wasn't he a Saint and a Cowboy and a Panther and...
You don't need him.
A bear.
A bear. I think Justin Fields' rookie season.
Yeah, it was a bear.
You don't need him. Yeah. That's the point. Yeah. What are the Raiders doing?
The Raiders have Gino. Paid him a nice amount of money, so he is their frontline guy.
I mean, honest to goodness, the only other team I could think of would have been the Giants, but that would just be the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Because they just have a mess of Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart, and Jameis Winston, and all three of them are probably going to start a game at some point this season.
Well, and they spent a first-round pick on Dart.
So we know who the future is.
Right.
You conveniently left out the Steelers.
Oh, no.
Well, we were just talking about teams that...
I skipped over that team.
Yeah.
Well,
you said you could only think of one team. I honestly thought that's what you were thinking. But then when you said, I hope it happens.
I guess I only considered 31 teams.
31 other teams.
Yeah.
What's Mary Kay Cabot saying about Deshaun and his progress, TLC?
He wants to come back this year. He's determined to come back this year. Does that mean he's going to come back this year? We have no idea what the plan is for that. But he is working round the clock to try to get back. He believes that he can play again and possibly even play this season. So I have no idea where that's going to go. But I will say this. Every single time that we have asked the Browns about Deshaun Watson, they have never completely slammed the door shut on him. So you just never know. I doubt he's going to play this season. I highly doubt it. And I do actually think that a change of scenery would be best for him and for the Browns. But the point is, he's out there in Berea throwing to Jerry Jeudy, throwing to David Bell, and making really, really good progress in his recovery.
While they haven't on record put to bed the football side of things, the owner did come out and admit that this whole thing was a swing and a miss. Old Jimmy did say that.
Yeah, no, he did that right before the draft, which I read into that I'll take the public bullets for more patience, that he was buying more patience from the fan base.
Yeah.
And then the closer we got to the draft, I thought, all right, they may not take a quarterback at 2, but they will take one. And then when they didn't, it fed right into what I read with Haslam when he said it. There's no owner that's going to come out and do that without asking something subliminal from his fan base, which is we got to get this draft right. Well, a lot of people just read into that as we got to take the right players. I totally tore that apart and said, no. He meant the rebuild. There's $173 million in cap hits remaining on Watson's contract. Think about that. $173 million.
Still, huh? Wow.
Yeah. All of that. Dead money.
My goodness.
You can't do that. I know you're big on the no cap.
The cap be capping.
The salary cap charge for players no longer on the roster is not good.
I agree with Mary Kay Cabot that a change of scenery for both parties needs to happen. I just don't know how you get that done.
Let's see.
Unless you just straight up cut the guy, which I don't.
Well, they got an insurance policy, and I'd have to look into that because they did buy one on his contract, and they got some cap relief for last year for it after he missed all those games in 23. And they get a little credit for that. Let's see. Browns. Oh, so they've insured up to $44 million of his 2025 salary. So I guess the 173, if they cut him, boy, I don't think there's ever been any. Remember how bad Russell Wilson was?
Denver, yeah.
This would dwarf that.
What's the number?
80, 85?
For Cleveland?
No, for
Denver,
Russ,
yeah, it was in that ballpark.
This would be 170 something. Hold my beer.
So you're going to allow this guy to eat up a roster spot potentially. That's
if you released him after this year with a post June 1, then you could cut him and divide the cap charges into 2 seasons. So that would leave the Browns with 130, so dead cap. They could split it between 26 and 27, and then they could get some relief after that. So that would be the scenario. I don't think any decision. First of all, like I said, financially, it doesn't pay to cut him. He's not a massive problem right now. And you're going to look at these other guys, and he's not even an insurance policy right now.
No,
he's just a guy getting paid that shows up.
I'd be blown away if they can rely on him at all or going to need him at all to help them out there on the field. They don't need that. With the way that their room is constructed, you roll with one of the vets, you keep the other 2 rookies, you throw those guys out there, see what they look like, and see if you think there's something there that you can grow with one of Shedeur and Dillon. If the answer is no, you've got draft capital to move up and move on and possibly grab someone else next year. That's what this should all be about.
Yeah, it feels to me, if I had to make a semi-prediction, he stays on the roster, you cut him after the season, no one picks him up, he continues to show that he can be healthy. Then you find out whether he's motivated to play in his low 30s, 33, 32, 33, and then maybe you get him on the cheap.
If you keep him, AR, who are we getting rid of? Because I still don't think they're keeping 4.
No, I feel like
that's the tough part of this.
It's probably Flacco goes, or if Dillon or Shedeur somehow just flops in training camp, or just
they got a lot to figure out.
Yeah,
they got a lot to figure out quickly.
All right,
if things go south, things could go south.
Exactly. Speaking of dead cap, we'll bring him in 2 minutes. Find out what he's working on today, or what he says he's working on. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
What? All the budget has to be used now? And we can use all the media buy?
Javier's marketing firm just got its dream funding.
Okay, ideas. Bobbleheads? No. T-shirt cannon? I seriously need some help here.
He needs to find marketing managers who are worth every dollar.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Sponsoring a job on Indeed gives it a visibility boost so you can hire faster. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is?
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The perfect ratio of sports talk, dogs, pro wrestling, and gambling advice.
It's science.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, indeed you are. We welcome in star of 10 TV Sports.
He's here.
The man who sits on the porcelain throne. He's got
Iron. See, I told him it was the Iron Throne. He's downgraded.
Maybe I just got some bad information.
Yeah, it's Iron Throne. I do
in.
often sit on the porcelain throne, though. Much more than
where all the
iron.
best work is done.
Yeah,
where you probably hatch all those great ideas.
That's where I write a
for
lot
the
of my
week.
scripts.
Oh, my goodness. Adam King, 10
Do you
TV
bring
in
your
the
phone
building.
in?
What? I'm a human.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
What am I going to read the back of a shampoo bottle while I'm in there? No, I got to.
Maybe a magazine, newspaper. Who knows?
Yeah. Do you get magazines anymore?
Do those exist?
They do.
They do,
I
yeah.
still have subscriptions to a few.
My grandparents used to have a book in the bathroom that was golf tips, and it was a long book. And
Just the golf tips, or was there something else?
it was just the golf tips.
Okay.
And the nice thing is throughout all of my years going to the bathroom with my grandparents, I finished the book.
Okay.
Is that not insane?
A lot of time in there.
I lived in that bathroom, apparently.
Did you come out that day and just announce, like when you came out of the...
I signed it.
Okay, I was going to say.
signed the book.
I finished it. I'm done.
I screamed that, and they said, "What?"
Yeah.
Okay, I want to say this. The hair is hairing right now. It's kind of giving Johnny Bravo vibes. You remember the cartoon Johnny Bravo?
I do.
His hair, it's giving that right now. How much hairspray or gel do we use daily to get it to look like this?
So I go to a man named Juan at Turner's Barbershop, and he is the best barber in Columbus.
Okay, that's a bold statement.
I've been to a lot of barbers. That man does my hair the best. The one thing that I can't explain to him is at the end of the thing, at the cut, he takes like 10 minutes to style my hair.
Yeah.
And this is how he styles it. And I don't have the heart to tell him, like,
I'm Johnny Bravo. You got to look like Johnny Bravo.
That's not how I wear it. So I just walk out. I just walked out of the hair
Sure you did. You
barbershop
had an
right
appearance on Rothman and Ice.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to not look good.
Exactly. So I'm here with two TV guys. How often do you get your hair cut / done? Because you are on camera every day.
Well, yours falls out, right?
Yeah, I'm out of TV. I've been out of TV.
When
for
you were
15
in
years.
TV, what was yours like? Hey, or how often
I don't know.
Okay.
A week?
I go
Cut a week?
Week and a half?
I
2
go
weeks?
once a month.
Oh,
But
I'm not buying that.
I go once a month because there are people that like my hair. If I could have it my way, my hair would be this long. It would just be cut short all the time. That's how it was.
I know you're always playing with it and fussing with it. I've noticed that.
Yeah, but that's because some of us have it,
That's
and we
what I
want to
mean.
make sure we celebrate it.
That's right.
I noticed you wear a lot of hats. What's
I
going
do.
on under there? Huh?
I like a lot of hats.
What are you
I got-
hiding?
I got a lot of hats. I got a lot of hair back here.
Got a little mullet going over
That's
there.
right. That's right.
That's right.
All right, so what do you got working today?
Yeah.
I'm off today.
Came in on his off day.
Seriously?
Yes, I'm off today. I was so excited to come in. I wasn't going to turn you guys down. Well, I mean,
do we have to do 2 segments?
This is.
to make this worth it?
No. I'm not ruining your show. This was more than worth it. I got my hair cut. I said, and then the most important part of my career, walking in to Rod. This is my first time for the listener. Work with Matty Ice. Love Matty Ice. Hate when he cooks broccoli in the microwave, but I love him. And then AR, I've co-hosted with, but I've never done this together. This is a beautiful thing. There are a lot of people at home. First threesome. There are a lot of people at home that are listening to my first threesome.
Wow. Exactly. It's pretty.
When it goes south, it can go south.
Is
you
it
know?
living up to your expectations?
It's beyond my expectations. I do want to say, on my way in, I heard you guys talking about moving the game to Sunday.
Ohio State wanting the Texas game to slide to Sunday instead of Saturday. Yeah.
That's a little bit insane. You can't move a game day because of the time. Like, I get it. They're trying everything. And that's all because of the Fox's contract with Major League Baseball in September. And that causes issues there. And so the night games kind of are out of the question. So you move it to Sunday and you say, hey, maybe you don't play baseball on that Sunday. But I think that's just play it at noon, kick their butt at noon. Let's move on with our lives.
The fans after last year had to sit back, and it was noon after noon after noon game.
9 straight noon games.
And like AR and I are saying, and a lot of people too, like when you have Ohio State and Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, another big home game for them this year, you want those under the lights. Like you don't want the Marshalls of the world, the Central Michigans of the world. So I get it from a fan's perspective, and also the recruiting stuff's been thrown out there too, that this could have an impact with guys flying in super late from the West Coast or whatever it may be. And maybe you don't get those guys to come in and experience some of those games. I've been saying I think the atmosphere is going to be great regardless. Yeah. Noon games at the Shoe against big-time opponents have been played, and it's been rocking over there. And I think the same thing's going to happen when Arch Manning and the gang come to town.
I completely agree. It's not about the time of day. It's about the time that the fans show up and get to work. And that, starts at 4 a.m. now, They just got to get drunk earlier.
Yep.
Are you getting paid here by some sort of Fox? Because it sounds like you're a little more
kind of class check right now.
It sounds like you're a little more into it than you should be.
I wanted a night game, but if the dramatics are that you have to play the night game the day on a Sunday, no, play it on a Saturday.
No one's going to work Monday. It's Labor Day.
It doesn't matter, AR. It's a football Saturday. Now you shorten the next week. Now they got to play a shorter week. And who are they playing next? What is that, Grambling State? You don't want to sleep on Grambling State. Okay? You want to be ready. You want to be fired up. That Sunday's important.
They could play against Texas on Thursday and beat Grambling State on Saturday.
You know what? You're sleeping on Grambling State. I think of those 2 games, the Grambling State is the tougher one.
Yeah. Did it just used to be Grambling? When did it go to Grambling?
I think you're right.
I think you're right. I just kept adding State. No, I think it is Grambling State. Am I mixing something up here?
Are we sure? Is it just I may have just called it a different school.
No, I think you're right.
It's Grambling now.
Okay.
Were they ever Grambling State?
This is like the Kent and Kent State situation we had for a while. Because you just it's the Grambling State University. Is that
there
what you're saying?
There are a lot of Grambling grads out there that are not happy with me right now. They have turned off the show. They have. He has made them a joke.
4 minutes ago.
Yeah. The second they heard.
They stayed with us for the last 4 minutes. We thank them.
Yeah.
I think it's the way you guys are looking at it is okay. The noon game is fine. We'll play it. People will show up. 2 big opponents. It'll matter big time. But it's weird to me, and it's only because of the Fox and the big noon that they couldn't find a way to get this prime time. First of all, they would be motivated to have it prime time because then most of the country sees it. Now it's not 9 a.m. kick on the West Coast.
Isn't Texas Central Time? Those Texas fans have to get up at 11 a.m. in the morning to watch this game? That's brutal. I mean, that's awful. That means if you're actually going to be awake, you've got to get up by 8 a.m. Yeah. Like if you're having a party at somebody's house, you're having a breakfast party. You want to come over and watch football with pancakes?
And mimosas, yeah.
It's weird how we have, the college games we have at this time, like at noon, it sounds good to us, but all the games that matter are almost too late for us. Like we can never find that happy medium.
Want it all.
This one's too early, and a lot of them are too late.
It's, you know what? We need to normalize the 3:30 hour. And do you know who really is trying to take a staple of that 3:30 hour? College football on 10 TV, CBS.
There you go.
Yeah, they have really maximized that 3:30 hour. Hopefully I get a check for that. I don't know if that,
a little bonus check
royalties.
there. Yeah.
Royalties. Yeah, but that's the time. You know when they took the 1 versus 2 Michigan game and they said it's too big to play at noon? What time they play at, AR?
I don't know.
3:30.
Oh, yes. Okay. I know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Now I do.
They could have played it at night. They said, no. We're playing it at 3:30.
I've been thinking about this, and I couldn't wait to ask you. You're a man that does interviews with head coaches. Coach Day, you've done some really good interviews.
Thank you.
If I sat you down right now across from Bill Belichick, Adam King, as a journalist, how would you approach the Jordan Hudson-Bill Belichick relationship in a sit-down interview?
So here's the thing.
Would she be in the corner?
Yes.
Let's
put a little pressure on AK. She's in the corner, too.
So Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
Come from?
We got the Drop King over there.
I'm
the
impressed.
Drop King's always
How do you
ready.
do that so quick? I think what you got to do, you got to butter him up to start off. Hey, Coach, big fan. Tell me a little bit about all of your wins and your history.
First of all, you called him Coach.
Okay,
come on.
he says that if Coach Day was here, that he would not call him coach. He would call him Ryan. That's his stance.
Well, that just seems kind of stupid.
Who's calling you right now?
Why would you not call him coach?
Because
that's what he is. That's what he is in the context of your interview.
Is he going to call you TV guy Adam, or what's your technical title?
I mean,
Mr.
ironically,
King.
when he looks at me, he says, "Television's Adam King. Can I answer your question?" And I say, "Ryan, let's be a little less formal here."
If he were my coach, or if he coached my son, I would call him coach. But there is no authority here.
I don't know why he thinks it's an authority thing.
There's no authority.
You know what? The first time that we had this conversation, Rothman's takeaway was, he goes, "You got a problem with authority, don't you?" So Rothman was kind of giving a tell that he thinks that the coaches that we cover have authority over us. I ain't putting up with that.
I think the reasoning for which I talk to a coach.
Who's calling you right now?
I'm getting phone calls, but
That's
I'm
the
fine.
third time you've checked your phone in
I
the
had
past
to
2 minutes.
silence the call. Listen, if I'm talking to a coach, okay, he is, in fact, a coach. The only reason he's talking to me is because he's a coach. He wouldn't be talking to me if he was an accountant. So me calling him coach is just me directing what his career is. If I'm talking to you, I would, what are you, an intern? So I would say, intern Cole, how can you help me here? Is that, he's gone quiet.
No. I was going to clip it
I'll
off
tell you
because
what.
we're going to hear that again later.
We'll carry this over.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, he's got these calls. He may have to go.
We'll carry this over.
Depending
A, we're
who's
going to figure
calling.
out who's calling.
We're talking Buckeyes next anyway.
And B, we are going to talk Buckeyes. You'll hear from a certain coach, I believe.
Authority figure.
Very
His
upsetting
name
for-
is Ryan Day.
So we went to...
Yeah, so call him Ryan.
But you're okay with calling someone doctor, or unless he's not your doctor, you won't call him doctor.
If that's the only way that I know him, I'm not even sure I would know
But if he's,
many
but if
doctors'
he's
first
not
names.
your doctor, and I introduced you to a doctor, would you say his first name or Mr.?
It depends how you would introduce me. If you told me, "Hey, this is my doctor, Steve Jobs," who would not be your doctor.
What if I said, "This is Coach so-and-so"?
Rest in peace.
Well, then I wouldn't know his name, so I'd call him Coach.
No. If I said, you didn't know this is Ryan Day, and I said, "Cole, you're new to town. This is Coach Ryan Day."
Nice to meet you, Ryan.
Okay. Now, if I said, "This is Dr. whatever. This is Dr. Matthew Hayes," would you say, "Oh, hi, Mr. Hayes"?
No, I'd say, "Nice to meet you, Matthew."
Okay.
You know what?
He's a first name guy?
I
don't think he would do that for a former president, though.
Yeah.
Because that's somebody who actually had
authority
over me.
You know what?
No, it's actually quite...
moving the goalpost.
No, I'm not. That is totally consistent. That person actually had authority over me.
Okay.
Some random doctor and some football coach. Neither of them ever had authority over me, so I can call them by their first names. We're both adults.
It's just
here.
a very simple, kind of cool, respectful
I'm
thing.
with you.
This is the most
So
I've
return the
ever
favor.
heard. This is the most I've ever heard Cole talk.
Oh, he gets
done.
You've not listened to the show?
But I mean, you've got like angry, like he's like
intense,
passionate.
Okay,
he's ready to come through that glass.
Stick around.
We do have another coach talking about which conference is superior. You'll hear it next in the Bulletin. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Are you a skilled hardscape worker looking for better pay, steady work, and a crew that has your back? Join 9 Trees Landscape Construction, Central Ohio's top patio and retaining wall builder for outdoor living spaces. We value craftsmanship, dependability, and hustle, and pay you accordingly. We are hiring experienced or ready to learn, full-time, no weekends, top pay and benefits. Call 614-921-9595 or visit 9treeslc.com. 9 Trees, where hard work builds more than just great patios.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Matty Ice here to talk about my friends at McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Have you seen the 2025 Traverse? McDaniel GM Superstore actually has a great selection of new Traverses right now, and qualified buyers can finance 0.9% APR. Plus, they've got no market adjustments or hidden costs. That's been the McDaniel difference since 1916. They're just a short drive north of Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina. Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN.
Good news. Jack has personally invited the fan to the Memorial Tournament, and we're broadcasting 30 hours of live content, and we'll try not to embarrass ourselves.
Sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text DIG to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text DIG to 42424. That's DIG to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time here on Rothman and Ice. 10 TV's Adam King sticking around. And I pushed for this right after the playoff. And it wasn't, listen, Ohio State won. It was a great story. We didn't have to dwell on this. But the one thing that was glaring to me was you got to seed them as you rank them. You can't put this committee to work and pay them what you're paying them and have them go into the room and then say, okay, this is what you got to do. You got to decide who's going to be in the tournament, but we'll let you know where we're going to. These automatic buys from these conferences and these champs get an automatic buy. So amazingly enough, and I didn't think this was going to get ramrodded through so fast, but it sounds like that the college football executives are now expected to adopt the seed them as you rank them.
I'm here for it.
And Ross Dellinger's reporting, and I want to say this might happen sounds like for next season.
Okay.
As it should. That was the easiest thing to figure out in all of this, and I think there wasn't a person other that didn't wear an Arizona State or Boise State jersey that weren't agreeing that was just ridiculous. I mean, I think they tried to kind of adapt the NFL model there a little bit with, win your division and you should be rewarded, but it also was the most drastic that you're going to see in that regard because you don't expect that you're going to see Arizona State and Boise State get that spot over an ACC champion. Or, I want to say a Pac-12, but they don't exist anymore. So this is 100% what they needed to do. And just the top 4 teams, let them be top 4. And it saves Oregon, Ohio State from being a Rose Bowl matchup. And as opposed to a semifinal or national title matchup.
So it looks like the final week of college football, the top 4 was Oregon, Georgia, Texas, Penn State. That would have been your top 4 seeds. So this makes a lot of sense.
And only 2 of them got a bye.
That was Georgia and Oregon.
And every team that got a bye lost.
Right.
So you don't want to buy.
Usually college football makes every decision based on money. I guess the financial compromise distributes the same revenue, $8 million to the 4 champions, even if they're not inside the top 4.
So who cares?
Yeah, but usually can follow the money, and that's probably why they did it. And then the other big-time thing the conferences are pushing for, the big-time conferences are pushing for more teams, expansion. Get more of their, get more of
money.
Yeah, of course.
More of the pie.
Did you see the 40 team?
No.
From Matt Rule?
He was joking.
He was joking.
Listen, don't make jokes, because all it takes is one person to make a joke, and then the NCAA is like, well, 40 teams, that's more money for us. People will watch.
You know we're getting expansion eventually. I don't know what number we're going to get to, but we ain't done, AK. You know that.
Listen,
you know that.
I don't want to say that they perfected this in the first time, but fixing the seating, I loved everything else. It was as simple as that. I don't need more teams. I don't need an argument for 16 and 17th place.
I agree, because my thing last year was I don't think even in this format that there are 12 teams every year that are going to be worthy / have earned a spot to play for a national championship. I don't think that's going to be the case. So if we go to 16 or whatever that number is going to look like, I don't think we're going to have a whole bunch of those teams that are going to be top-notch teams that can legitimately win a title. I don't see it that way.
The only way I would say that I would think you could is if you had a big branded, talented team that had a couple clunkers or had an injury to a key player, and the player came back and they got in the tournament at seed 13 or 14, and all of a sudden that's a Bama or a Miami.
But let me ask you this, AR.
Then all of a sudden,
Bama lost 3 games last year.
They did.
I don't think we viewed them as a team that was going to be able to rip off a whole bunch of games and win a natty.
I'll say this. As you started talking, it's ironic that you went there. My first thought was Bama last year. I think if Bama got into the playoff last year,
I
think they probably make the semifinals.
They make noise.
I don't think so at all.
For the same reason that the country felt. Try to rewind your mind to think about what you felt about Ohio State after they lost the Michigan game. Where was your confidence that they were going to win a national title?
I could still believe, but also watching the games, there was a drastic difference in talent for me between Ohio State and Alabama last year. I think the Saban squads that we saw in previous years that were loaded top to bottom, I would agree with you guys. I just didn't see it in year one with DeBoer and Jalen Milroe in that game.
It's a rarity. I'm not saying this would happen. I'm just saying it would have to take one of those teams.
Yes, I agree.
That either there was a reason they lost those games and that player's back, or they're getting a couple guys back.
I agree with you. It would have been like, let's say, if Carson Beck was cooking the way he was all year and came back, then possibly Georgia could have been that team.
I will say this. I believe it was Anthony Rothman who walked around the newsroom or the radio last year and said, there's no way this Ohio State team wins a championship after that Michigan loss. He said, I won't watch. I don't support him. He was ripping things off the wall. I thought it was a little dramatic. I'm going to be honest.
There's a dude in the backfield that is, quote, the finisher. That's right. I was actually the guy that came in on that Monday and said they're not broken, that was a strategic blunder, and that there's not a whole lot more you can do with the outside stuff that Ohio State does. Focus on winning the damn game and having the right strategy to win the game. Crossing out of the M's and all the stuff that you think matters to get everybody hyped up has not worked.
The M on Sawmill Road by my house out in Powell, so far away from downtown, is still crossed out. And so I'm wondering, like, at some point, do we have to get out there and uncross it out? I mean, what if somebody's trying to find Sawmill Road, they're from out of town, and they're, oh, that's not Sawmill, that's got an X on it. It just seems a little dramatic.
Hey, that's where the ballers live, out there. That neck of the woods. Yeah, that's
Where
that
do you
TV
live, AR? What's your address for those of us at home that were just
Oh, my goodness. That's today's Buckeye Bulletin. Fellas, you know where you need to live if you're not feeling good about your health. It's the Columbus Men's Clinic, because if you've been waiting to treat your low T or ED, or maybe you had a bad experience with a clinic that opened quickly and closed, it's time to get in there and move forward with your sex life, your career, and your gym goals. They specialize in seeing guys who think they are out of luck regain hope that they can be successful in the bedroom and beyond. Seriously, go see the team that for 10 years has been number one in Ohio. For men's health, stop thinking about it and get in there. Call 614-300-7400. That's 614-300-7400. Or go online to columbusmensclinic.com to book an appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
All right. It's fun.
One in the books, AK.
I hope that was worth it.
That was everything and beyond.
Everything you dreamed it would be.
And now I get to go to the vet, and my dog is getting her blood drawn, yearly blood draw, so that'll be fun. And continue on the rest of my day. Maybe a little Costco action.
Costco's where it's at.
Listen, I'm about to go spend so much money at Costco on things I don't need.
Get you one of those taco trays. That taco tray, the taco kit.
Oh, yes, the pre-made taco.
Amazing.
Yeah, see, he gets it. Are you a Costco guy?
I don't have a membership, no.
You love
a friend of mine does.
You know what?
I glom on to him every now and then.
Good. You love it,
I like going, but
It feels really elitist over here, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love that, like, we're better than you because you don't have a Costco membership.
It's just that simple.
It really is. Thanks for visiting.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen.
Have a great day. That's Adam King from 10 TV. We'll come back top of the hour. Are we running out of villains in sports? We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
What are you, an intern?
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Aaron, which brand of air conditioner is the most energy efficient?
It's the one that's had its outside coils cleaned correctly.
Well, I can wash those off with a garden hose, right?
No.
Why not?
Humidity mixes with dust and pollen to create a microthin film of sticky paste that gets baked onto those hot outside coils.
And that baked-on stuff keeps my coils from releasing their heat into the atmosphere.
Which means your system has to run longer, which uses a lot more energy and it shortens the life of your air conditioner.
Get Eco.
ECO.
How do we get that baked-on stuff off?
Remove the exterior shroud, then spray the coils from the inside out with a special eco-friendly solvent.
Can I rinse the solvent off with a garden hose?
Yeah, but only from the inside out.
Or I could just pay Eco to do it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco doesn't take shortcuts. We do it the right way every time.
Get Eco professional coil cleaning for just $468.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy. America's football capital is right here in Ohio. But the greatest football players and coaches of all time live up the road in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And a trip there should be on every football fan's list. Go to 971thefan.com/goldjacket and enter to win a VIP experience to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion. Relive the glory.
When you're starting a home improvement project, a few big questions always come up. Who can I trust? Will they be there if something goes wrong? And lastly, how much is this going to cost me? At Newman Roofing, we've been answering those questions for over 30 years. As a family-owned and operated company that takes pride in every aspect of the job, with family members involved in each department of the company, we treat your home like it's our own. That means clear communication, no shortcuts, and a white glove experience from start to finish. And when it comes to cost, we get it. That's why we offer flexible financing options so you can get the quality your home needs at a price that works for your budget. Don't just take our word for it. With over 700 5-star reviews on Google, families across Central Ohio are sharing their Newman Roofing experience. For roofing, siding, and gutter solutions built around family, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
The power of Dell AI with Intel Inside is transforming the world of pro sports. Teams can see curveballs coming with predictive analytics. Coaches can use AI insights to help players improve their shots in real time. And fans can get more out of every winning moment with AI-enhanced replays.
Unbelievable! What a play!
See how Dell Technologies with Intel Inside can power your wins at Dell.com/win.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Top of the 6th inning over at Huntington Park. It's not going good for the Clippers. They trail the Iowa Cubs 7-1. The Cleveland Guardians are up in Detroit tonight, starting a series with the first-place Tigers at 6:40. Tanner Bybee, he gets the ball for the Guardians opposite Jack Flaherty. Cleveland trails Detroit by 6 games in the Central. Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals in the NBA tonight. Oklahoma City hosting Minnesota at 8:30. The Thunder up 1-0 in the series. Stanley Cup playoffs, Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals this evening in Carolina as the Hurricanes host the Panthers at 8. Florida won Game 1. Team USA beat Team Finland 5-2 at the World Championships this morning. Zach Werenski with 2 assists. This one's sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Mark Levy's office at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or online, sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
Final hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes. Bake Show on the update desk, the loose cannon on the button. All right, we got Dave Lapham coming up, Mr. Bengal himself, 2:30. Find out whether this team is really dedicated to playing complimentary football or not, whether it's just trying to outscore everybody. And we'll dive into that schedule a little bit as well with him. We brought up Tyrese Haliburton. And do you have that Barkley clip handy over there?
Yes, I do.
Jack Harlow. So, do you guys remember what happened with Halliburton's dad?
Can't forget it. Did you see what his dad was doing last night at the bar? Getting lit at the bar, doing the choke.
I did not see that.
He was out at the bar. I don't know if he was in Indy or in New York. I don't know exactly where he was, but there's videos that have surfaced of him getting all hyped when his son hit the shot, which, listen, I have no problem with that. It was amazing to see. You see your son doing something like that on that stage, you're going to be getting after. But, yeah, he was out there in the streets, AR, having himself a time.
So, just in case you missed it, he had a run-in with Giannis earlier in the playoffs. And it was, I guess, reported that he had agreed to stay away from Pacers games at home and on the road. And he still seemed to, how can you not be in good spirits if he's holed up at a bar with everybody and watching his son hit that buzzer beater to throw it into OT and then win the game by 3. I remember when this happened, I said, I wonder if they'll lift this ban or because if he agreed to it, then it's kind of like a floating deadline. Mm-hmm. They didn't say, hey, he's done for the season. We'll reconsider for next year. And you know why? Because I remember when that happened, I said to you guys, because what happens if they keep moving? Take out Cleveland, what happens? You think he's not going to want to be at the finals? You think they're going to want to say publicly right now, the Pacers and the NBA, if the NBA forced the Pacers' hand or whatever to say he can't come and watch his son play in the finals? So I drew the line, Maddie, between the conference finals and the finals. Barkley used his platform inside the NBA on TNT to call out the commissioner about this now.
I want to reach out to Adam Silver tomorrow. He sent me a nice text tonight. I want to reach out to Adam Silver tomorrow. Me and Draymond were talking. It's time to let Mr. Halliburton back in the building.
Yes, it is.
Adam, I'm asking you, hey, my man paid his dues. He did something really, really stupid, but he's been punished. And I'm asking you and the Indiana Pacers to let Mr. Halliburton back in the building for game 3 and 4. I mean, he paid his dues. It shouldn't be indefinite. He's been punished enough. He would never do anything that stupid again. So, Adam, you know how much I love you. And my man Kevin Pritchard, y'all let Mr. Halliburton back in the building for game 3.
All right. He's got a sympathetic feel for it. That's his son. He's having his moment in the playoffs. But I don't know if he can guarantee he'll never do something like that again. He seems to get caught up in this stuff. And what I would say is maybe if the Pacers want to get in front of this and say, we'll allow him to come to the home games, but the NBA could still say, road games? No. We don't need that. We don't need this in New York. We don't need it. You antagonizing the opponent. But it's hard to sit here and say that he screwed up so badly that he should never be allowed in again. I don't know if it got to that point.
Yeah, like if he would have come out AR and swung on Giannis or pushed Giannis, then you're probably talking about. Of course. Then you really got to have a conversation of should he be allowed back in. Where this can get prickly is if Tyrese Halliburton does come out and says, I want my dad at the home games for games 3 and 4, and how the franchise would view that. More importantly, what would their actions be in the midst of a postseason run with their star player banging the table for that? My guess is that they would bend the knee. Because you don't want to become that type of distraction if you are the team. And Kevin Pritchard, who Charles Barkley was talking about as the president of basketball ops for the Indiana Pacers, you don't want to become the story. You don't want to become the story. And so I don't know if Tyrese Halliburton spoke about this after the game. I have to be imagined now in their media availability tomorrow or this evening, now that Charles Barkley and Draymond have thrown this out there publicly.
Draymond, of course.
Well, he's been working back. He's been working with TNT throughout the postseason. He's been a model
citizen.
So that's why he's up there on the desk with them. But now Tyrese will be asked about this because it is a story, and he's got two of the biggest talking heads in the game saying that his dad should be back allowed. So I can't wait to see what Tyrese Halliburton says about this, because he could put this organization in an interesting spot, AR, if he says, yeah, I want him back.
The decision was originally made by the Pacers front office.
Yeah.
It's what we were told. I don't know if they truly did that or whether the NBA put pressure on them.
Yeah.
Make it your decision. Like if you say it, it comes off better to your fans, comes off better to your player. We'll let you get in front of this. Where the NBA would be looked at as, they keep shutting his dad out. I watched this video just now, the one you guys told me about at the bar, whether it's in New York or whatever.
Yeah.
And the dad did the choke sign.
Yeah, he saw his son doing it on TV. I don't have a problem with that. It's having fun.
I'll keep my line where it is. They make the finals, let him back.
So if you're running the Pacers, he can't come to 3 and 4? You're running the show over there at Gainbridge Fieldhouse?
I would say they won. They won a huge game. We don't need the distraction. Let's get to the finals. Let's do that. I wouldn't want to.
That's interesting.
That's what I would do. I would say your son is taking care of business. We let you back in. You're sitting front row. You become a little bit of a distraction. Now, if maybe he wouldn't be a distraction. Maybe a perfectly respectful fan.
Why don't you park him up in a suite? Would that work for you? Keep him off the floor, but put him up in a suite?
Sounds better.
Okay.
But that would be admitting that you think he could go sideways.
You just come down to the court like Sting and wrestling down the wrestling ring on one of those ropes.
Maybe zip lining down.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, his dad, here's the deal. His dad put Tyrese in a really bad spot.
No question.
He did.
Yep.
It was one of the great moments of his career, and he screwed it up for his kid. just stay in the background for a little bit more, let him make the finals, and then maybe swoop in then.
I wouldn't have a problem if they let him back in because I don't think it would be that big of a distraction for the Pacers.
He could never do it again.
I really don't. No, not at all.
To Barkley's point, Matty, if he ever did it
then
again,
you're banned for life.
Started waving a towel in a player's face.
Then you're banned for life.
Yeah.
Then you're banned for life. But I think if we find out they let him back in, I think what will happen is you'll have TNT or whatever showing him once or twice before the game, and that'll be it.
He also could be secretly the good luck charm that he's not there.
Well, but he did hit the buzzer beater with him in the house, in Milwaukee, or Indy with Milwaukee in the house. So who knows?
Yeah.
His son's just that darn good. And this story for Tyrese, you talk about getting revenge back on all the players around the league after they crowned you the most overrated player in the league.
And he was hurt,
and
right?
you go on. It's awesome to see him, right? Throw this back in the player's face that every single round of the postseason, he's hit a buzzer beater at some point throughout that series, Milwaukee, Cleveland, and now the New York Knicks. It's just talk about throwing out some crow. That's what he's doing.
Let me ask you this. Did you look at him as a villain before this? And is he now? Because he plays for the Indiana Pacers. It's hard to be a true villain. Reggie was, but
for me, there was more of the villain vibes specifically with Trae Young. Remember that whole situation with the Knicks, and the Knicks fan base are yelling literally blank Trae Young throughout the games. Now, that may come in game 2 after what Haliburton did. He's getting there. He's getting to that point because he is a showman. And so he'll lean into it as well. I think this is the beginning of him starting to be that guy. And maybe he could take the reins from Draymond or Dylan Brooks, or as Dylan Brooks calls himself, Dylan the villain. Maybe he could take the reins from those guys and maybe be that star of the league, or one of the stars of the league, and be a villain as well.
You know, you mentioned that, if he would have swung on Giannis. First of all, I just started thinking about that. That's a death wish anyway. And then the other part about it was the incredible amount of restraint that Giannis showed in that moment.
No doubt.
If Haliburton's dad truly said what Giannis said he did, and he's on the court in the,
this is
you're
what
in
the
our
blank
arena.
we do.
Yeah.
This is what the blank we do.
So I'm surprised that he didn't.
That's why I said, man, when we talked about it the next day, I was exactly where you were at. Like, credit to Giannis, because Giannis has already ticked off, their season's over, and then you got this dude getting in your face. I don't know if a lot of people will show that type of restraint.
This is what usually happens. In the beginning, you're like, okay, stupid. If it was a regular fan that did that, I don't think any of us would have a problem with banning him for life. If it was a regular fan. The fact that it's a star player's dad, I think we're all kind of having a little bit of sympathy. We want
some leniency to
There's
it.
some because there are people on networks that then when that happened said, no, he's done. He shouldn't be allowed to attend another basketball game. I don't think it was that horrendous. But he definitely broke through a barrier that he shouldn't have. Said he was sorry. Let's let him pay a little more of the punishment. His son is riding high right now, and then let's see how things go. If he makes the finals, then I think it's on the Pacers if they want to lift the ban, they can do it. Like TLC said, it's on them at that point. All right, we're coming back with pre-snap reads, and one NFL coach kind of downplayed the whole tush push in kind of a non-football way. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores, so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Here's a fresh deal on produce. 18-ounce containers of blueberries and 2-pound containers of strawberries are only $2.99 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey, it's Anthony for Orthopedic One. I'm not invincible anymore. I never was, but I refuse to punt on things I still love to do. That's why over the past several years, when I've had things creep up, like back pain, shoulder issue, elbow problem, I've had it all, I've always chosen Orthopedic One. That's because Orthopedic One is Ohio's largest physician-owned orthopedic practice with 60 physicians in every specialty. Find a physician or location near you at orthopedic1.com. Orthopedic One. This is where you go to get better.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad,
30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell air conditioners instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Dealin' Days are back at Lindsay Honda. Lock in your deal in May. Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas. Simply pick your new 2025 Honda and enjoy 0% for up to 60 months. Yes, 0% for up to 60 months on all new 2025 Hondas, including HR-V, Pilot, and Ridgeline.
Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Lindsay's got it, and you're gonna save.
See you, Lindsay Honda, during Dealin' Days. See LindsayHonda.com for details.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
Austin and Berm are back with a new daily podcast, the ultimate OSU football insiders. You know it's refreshing to have some smart people working here from time to time.
The Beat with Austin and Berm on the 10 TV Plus app.
Subscribe today.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt?
Just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact Meteorologist Michael Behrens of your latest forecast. Keep an umbrella nearby for scattered showers throughout this afternoon. Those chances diminish tonight. It's going to be a struggle to make the upper 50s for highs today, with 40s expected overnight. Friday, high near 60, more sunshine, isolated afternoon shower possible. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Leads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Bet365 time, Maddie.
Let's knock it out, AR, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians taking on the Tigers today at 6:40. So fun series in the AL Central. They've got a new sign-up offer for you over at Bet365 where you bet $5 and you get $150 whether your bet wins or loses. So hop on over to their great website or download the Bet365 app today. Game 2, Western Conference Finals. Thunder taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards only got up 13 shots in the game in Game 1. That's a problem. I know OKC's defense is tremendous, and they got dogs all over the place, but he's one of the superstars in the sport. I'm looking at 3.5 three-pointers made for Anthony Edwards. The over at plus 110 is the juice on that. So give me the former Georgia Bulldog in Game 2 to unload the clip. in the Western Conference Finals. Over 3.5 3-pointers for Anthony Edwards at plus 110.
All right, 1-for-1 yesterday. Had the Tyler McGill.
There you go.
Over 5.5 Ks. He had 10. But I lost on... Well, I told you Connor McDavid. I had him with the value to score. And Matty, let me tell you, he had mega opportunities to score, especially the first one, which he would have netted that one. It would have been at 11-1. But he had 4 shots on goal, couple assists. So tonight, we're looking at Hurricanes and Panthers. I know we do that pseudo must win. And this is probably stupid because the over-under on this game is going to be 5.5. So asking Carolina not only to win the game, but win it by 2. I would probably need an empty netter to get this done.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do it because I like the value.
Okay.
Plus 200.
Oh, I'm in.
On the Hurricanes laying 1.5 goals.
I see the vision. That's all you got for today? Anything else? Are we good? I like that, though.
That's it for now.
Okay. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download that Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
Usually like a live in-game first round PGA Tour bet. But I haven't checked out the old Charles Schwab Challenge yet today. So
where's that played at?
That's the Colonial. Was that in Dallas?
Okay.
All right. Let's get into a couple things here. Number one, this is Ben Johnson, right?
Yes, sir.
Bears head coach?
New head coach for the Chicago Bears.
He was asked about, although I think, by the way, Scheffler is playing this week, so I guess whatever you got, put it on him.
Okay.
Ben Johnson was asked about the tush push. And I thought this was a weird way to answer it because he didn't slam it, he didn't praise it, but he almost dismissed it like it didn't even matter. It was weird.
Man, I tell you what, does it become an explosive play ever? Have you ever seen a tush push become an explosive play?
Does it become a first down or a touchdown?
Yeah, I like explosive play. I like big plays. So I'm not a big tush push guy myself.
What? Coach, you can have it all. Because I agree with I love that the media member, whoever that was, says, you can get first downs and touchdowns out of it.
Those don't matter anymore?
Exactly. That's what I'm like. I didn't understand his reaction.
Not like explosive plays.
I think everybody
like any play that doesn't go for at least 10 yards or more.
I think everybody's in on explosive plays.
How about time of possession? Moving the chains.
I know.
Fourth and inches.
Yeah.
In your own territory, around midfield. Are you going? Are you punting? You got that in the bag.
He dunked on it, man.
It was just weird. He didn't slam it like it had no place in the game. He didn't say, I want to vote it out. But he didn't say,
I like
really?
Explosive plays. Okay. I mean, I get that. I understand you got some good big-time weapons up there, and you want to get the ball to those guys more times than not. But like you're saying.
I like explosive plays, and I cannot lie.
Fourth and inches?
I don't know. It's kind of a weird dismissal. And then Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, fan alum, really.
He really
Back
is.
in the day.
I remember I'd have to get him on the horn for you and Bo and you and Bobby for a little bit of time, yeah?
All right, so let's hear from Florio because he thinks that anybody against the tush push should be pushed out themselves.
It wasn't about what's right. It wasn't about the truth. It was about coming up with cockamamie reasons to justify this and paint it as something other than it was, which was, we don't like this and we want it to be gone. Well, it's a safety issue. Okay, where's your data? Well, we don't have any. It could be a safety issue. How about that? Oh, and it doesn't look like football, whatever that means. And it was always moving goalposts, and it just felt at its core a dishonest attack. And I would have had more respect for everyone involved if they just would have said, we don't like it and we don't want it. I wish they just would have said that because that's what it was. And the problem is, if you're honest about it, the reaction is going to be, we'll figure out a way to stop it.
No. I like Mike, but we don't like it because it's not football or whatever that means. You know exactly what that means. It means physically pushing or pulling a runner in a direction at any time. That's why it doesn't look like football, Mike. Like, I don't know why he wouldn't get that. It doesn't mean you can't. I'm not telling him that it doesn't belong in the game. If he wants it, that's great. But he really thinks that people saying, I don't like it, I want it out, would be better than giving an actual reason, which I just gave? That's why I don't know. He's accusing the people that don't want it in as, since they can't stop it, they're trying to manufacture some reason.
Yeah. There's been some football people that have said that, like former players have thrown that out there. I don't really know, AR, if there is a way that you can stop it, though. Like, honestly, I don't think that it's possible to consistently stop it. Maybe you can do it every once in a while, but I'd really need a defensive coordinator to break that down, like a plan of action to stop the quarterback that's that close to the goal line or that close to the first down marker.
The only way you could probably do it is to overload the interior to the best of your ability. Hope to God Ben Johnson, somebody doesn't catch a seam, or a quarterback doesn't catch a seam. You'd have to overload the interior.
Who was the guy last year for Washington that just kept leaping over the line in the NFC title? It was like 3 in a row.
Yeah. And they're like, hey, one more time.
We're giving the touchdown.
Personal foul, touchdown, whatever. Oh, by the way, we do have breaking news.
Yeah.
I got it through, Maddie.
What happened?
It's official.
What we getting?
Straight seeding for college football playoff.
Okay.
Yahoo Sports reporting. Teams will be seated directly on the rankings. Rank them. Seed them as you rank them. 1 through 12. No more top 4 seeds, conference champs, designated buys, all that.
Yeah. You can't win the Mountain West and leap over teams that play in the Big Ten or the SEC or the ACC. That never felt right. And I know Ashton Genty was an awesome story. Awesome. Incredible player. But that was just not the way things should be. What this does, I think off the top of my head, and it's for TLC's squad, is now Notre Dame can get first-round bye, I believe, with this new rule, if they are ranked in the top 4. Right? I think that's how that would apply.
I would think it's straight seeding.
Yeah,
the other thing they did for those other schools is they bought them. We're going to just buy you. And what that means is, when I was reading earlier, that they'll still financially compensate them, right? Continue distributing the $8 million to the 4 highest ranked conference champs. So even if they're not seated in the top 4, they still get to the money. And so I think they kind of bought their agreement in this. So it made it an easier fight.
They cleaned this up the right way. This is a good
money exchange.
This is a good thing for college football right here. I'm all in. This is great.
See how long it lasts. It should. Like I said earlier, you gave the underdogs you slanted it to the best of their ability to give them a fighting chance to pull off a Cinderella, and they never really did. So you want to keep the integrity as high as possible, and this seems good. All right. Those are your pre-snap reads for today. Come back with our boy Dave Lapham, Mr. Bengal, in 2 minutes. And if they have to go forward without Trey, where's his confidence level? Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10 TV and the Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes. This week's honoree is Natalie Lorenz from Delaware. Natalie is a fire dispatcher who coordinates resources during major incidents and provides instructions to callers before the fire department arrives, going above and beyond the call of duty. Her professionalism, compassion, and strength make her an invaluable asset to her workplace and community. Natalie is a true unsung hero who deserves to be recognized.
If you haven't heard about Oakland Nursery's specialty decor stores, it's because your neighbor didn't want you to know where they've been finding all those hard-to-find items in their home. The Home Store in Dublin and Inside and Out in New Albany are 2 unique shopping experiences specializing in eclectic home decor and art. Discover items you won't find anywhere else, sure to make your guests envious. Love your home by finding inspiration at the Oakland Specialty Stores, the Home Store in Dublin, and Inside and Out in New Albany.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Truth of the matter is, you're listening to Rothman and Ice on 97.1 The Fan.
Boy, he's always there when we need him. Our guy, Mr. Bengal. For you youngins out there, played all 5 positions on the line. Absolutely a monster, especially on that 81 squad that won the AFC title. Ultimately lost in the Super Bowl to the Niners, but he's been on that Bengals radio airwaves for more than 30 years. He's our guy, Dave Lapham. Lap, welcome back.
The men, the legends, the icons, Rothman and Ice. I can't believe it. I mean, this is truly an honor. There's nothing better, nothing more enjoyable. I can tell you that.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, and I thank you for all that, but I put you back in uniform. And they say, Lap, we're putting you on a team that wants to run this tush push, and they want to run it a lot. As an offensive lineman, is this something that you guys would live for, or is it something you would dread a little bit?
I think it all depends on what you've got to work with for the tush push. When we had Pete Johnson and we had an offensive line, the 1981 team you're referencing, that 81-82 team that went to Super Bowl 16 and ultimately lost to the 49ers, but we won an AFC championship and first team to do that in franchise history, all that good stuff. Proud of all of that. But we had an offensive line that was talented, had a skill set that, we could even though bigger body guys, we could bend at the knees and not at the waist and get underneath people and move people. And Pete would, hammer it up in there on short yardage goal line things. It wasn't necessarily the tush push from a technique standpoint and the fundamentals and what they teach with this tush push that they're doing in Philadelphia. And I think that's it was just quarterback sneak stuff. And they've been running quarterback sneaks since the game was invented just about. But the tush push has a few more things to it that put not only the opponent but the person executing in danger if they don't execute with the proper techniques and fundamentals and all that sort of thing. So I think that's where the rub is. But, man, Philadelphia, they do it so well. And, how do you take something away from a franchise that, basically were the guys that came up with and refined the tush push? They took the quarterback sneak to the highest level it can possibly go, basically, with this tush push and the involvement of, backs and extra linemen pushing quarterback from behind, and you have to have a quarterback that fits the bill as well. And Jalen Hurts at 6'2", 230 pounds is a perfect build and body type and athletic ability to execute it. I mean, they have got it. They have every ingredient you need for a successful tush push. So I know they're glad that it wasn't outlawed. It missed by 2 votes, I think.
Yep.
So yeah, I think more teams are going to try to figure out ways to do it, but you have to have the perfect storm. You have to have the guys that can physically get it done, and then from a physical standpoint, and then the mental part of it is they got to want to do it, and sometimes it's not fun down there, man, when you're in the bottom of that mass of humanity. I can tell you that.
Yeah, no doubt. I believe that, Lap. Let's stay in the trenches and flip this thing over to the defensive side of things. I want to get your reaction to Trey Hendrickson when he spoke to the media, I believe, a week or two ago down there in Cincinnati and voiced his displeasure. He also released a statement to Adam Schefter, being around the team, being around Trey and knowing him, do you think this is a salvageable situation?
Absolutely. I do. I think, I don't know, posturing, I guess, is the generalization I would put it under. But I think I know the Bengals want Trey Hendrickson to remain a Cincinnati Bengal, and I really feel like Trey Hendrickson, from what I've heard from other people, wants to be a Cincinnati Bengal as well. So when you have both sides of the equation working like that, I think it's just a matter of time. They're negotiating ploys, tactics, all that sort of thing. And Trey's not one to have patience for those things. It's like this dude, though, is – you talk about a guy that performs at the highest level possible. 17.5 sacks led the NFL last year. 35 sacks over the last 2 seasons combined led the NFL as well. So, you've helped develop this guy's skill set, toolbox, all those kind of things to the highest level possible. You don't say, okay, now that we've done that, now that we've committed, all these resources, organization, we're going to let somebody else benefit from it. I just don't see it happening. I think they're going to, throw bonus money out there. It's 15.8, 16.2 are numbers that you're hearing. High end, low end. Let's just round it up to 8 to 16 mil, and say, all right, let's add another 16 to it in terms of bonus. 32 mil this year done, and then as the bonus money salaries go up, bonus money goes down. And you work a deal where you got 32, 33 million a year for a 2 or 3 year time frame. So you got an even cap count. Trey's amongst the highest paid in the National Football League, and the Bengals know exactly where they're what they've got from an obligation standpoint with respect to the salary cap. So I just don't see a talent like that dude going out the door. I'd be stunned if it happened. Just stunned.
Former Bengal great Dave Lapham with us, radio analyst here on Rothman and Ice. Lap, we talk about, let's say Trey's in the mix, even with him. Give me your confidence level on the rest of this unit. The guys that, even some of the newly drafted guys, obviously you don't know about yet, but the linebacking core is going to look entirely different. You've got some issue with guys not being elite playmakers just yet with Jenkins and Murphy. Asai showed me something when he had to last year at the end of the year. Shamar Stewart, we'll see. But your confidence in this unit as a whole with Trey in it, will they be able to play complementary football enough to challenge for a title?
I really believe so. I think the first pick of the draft, Shamar Stewart, is a guy that they targeted way back. They had him on the radar when he was in high school. And they stayed with him when he went to Texas A&M. They stayed right with it. And scouts have been all over him from Jump Street all through his career at Texas A&M, and he developed. And he's a physical freak. The dude is like 6'5 plus, 280, 285, runs a 4.59, has a 40-inch vertical jump, broad jumps 10 feet 11 inches. Are you kidding me? That's like defensive back numbers in a body like that. That's like, man, that's a genetic phenomenon. Those guys just don't come along very often. Now, has his production met that, that physical talent that he has? Is he living up to, in terms of producing numbers for his football team, what he can offer with all of those traits? He's a boomer bust candidate with the numbers physically we talked about just there. It's boom, man. It's like, this guy might be one of the greatest of all time with those kind of physical attributes, but his numbers haven't shown it yet. He had 39 pressures last year, which I think led the country, and he had 1.5 sacks. If he didn't lead the country, it was top 5. I know that. I know his pressure percentage, well up into the 80s, was in the top 5. So he was always causing problems. But the question was, okay, we're going to finish. We're going to finish these things. 39 pressures and only 1.5 sacks out of it is almost hard to do. It's almost hard to imagine. But what he did was, he was if they had a category for disruption, a disruptor category, he might have had an all-time collegiate NCAA record in that category. I mean, you couldn't single block him. He'd knock back double teams. He'd take them and just knock them both backwards. And if you threw it back in there to help, he'd knock all three of them backwards. I mean, the guy he's ridiculous when you watch him and how he disrupts plays. So a lot of times, he'll do that, and then teammates will benefit. They'll clean it up. So, I think he is a guy that has so much upside potential. I mean, his ceiling, you almost can't see it. The floor is high, and the ceiling is like astronomically high. So, if they can get him squared away and him producing, and they got a couple of young talented guys that they drafted last year in the second and third round in the interior, the defensive line, the defensive tackles that Coach Jerry Montgomery's working with and bringing those guys along. I mean, they've got talent. Miles Murphy's another one on the edge, but okay, let's see. He was a very high first round draft pick. He's got all kinds of physical ability. Now we need to develop him. He seems to be a guy that he's like almost, he's just about there, but he just can't quite finish the play. It's like, man, does he take the right football geometry? Does he take proper angles? Almost there, but just can't quite finish the play. Those things you can work with and develop. And I do think that they've got immense talent with their young defensive linemen, and it's a matter of developing them. And if they can all make progress from last year to this year, and the coach Jerry Montgomery and defense coordinator Al Gold and everybody involved in that side of it, man, if those young D linemen can play at just a higher level than they did last year, I think sky's the limit.
No doubt. The most versatile lineman ever wearing the stripes down there in the Queen City, our guy Dave Lapham, radio analyst, and he brings it every time we call you up, bud. We'll talk to you soon, my friend. Be well. Thanks for the time.
Appreciate it, guys. I'm telling you, you guys are the definition of what it takes to be a pro. You guys are pros. There's no question about it. You do your job. You do it well. Nobody does it better, man. I appreciate you.
Thanks, my man.
Thanks, Lapham.
Well done. There he is, Dave Lapham. And I'll tell you, he mentored Anthony Munoz. So that should put it in perspective. Mm-hmm. He was on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We'll come back. We'll tell the truth and wrap it up. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
This Memorial Day, honor the season with big savings at Ohio Mulch. For a limited time, get 5 bags of mulch or soil for just $10.95. Perfect for making your yard look the best for summer gatherings. And here's a star-spangled bonus. Save $40 on home delivery when you order now. Celebrate Memorial Day and beautify your home with help from Ohio Mulch. Visit ohiomulch.com or stop by your local store today.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, cleaner, greener, better.
This is 100% employee-owned now. It gives them a sense of pride.
It's always been a family business. We've benefited as owners from the work of all of these great employees for so long. Well, now everybody's an owner, so now everybody has a stake. It really is the culmination of the family business. The family just got bigger. We all know there's a difference between working for a paycheck and working for something that belongs to you.
Rosati Windows, locally made, expertly crafted.
Hey, it's Anthony. You know what the slogan is at the Good Feet store? Good feet, good life. Friends have asked me, how are my personally fit arch supports different from the inserts and insoles they can buy online or in department stores? There are big differences. My Good Feet arch supports are designed to provide me firm yet flexible function. What does that do? They actually help correct poor foot biomechanics, which leads to providing me long-term pain relief. I was also the guy who thought, well, if I buy good shoes, my feet won't hurt. It wasn't a bad thought. A lot of people think shoes are always the problem, when in reality, it's often the foot that goes into the shoe that's the real source of discomfort. When I got my personally fit Good Feet arch supports, my feet felt stabilized. The pain and discomfort went away. For more than 30 years, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people just like me discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
At
Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 3 free with your card. Limit 10. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Matty Ice here. When I need a new Chevy, I head to McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Right now, get up to $11,000 off MSRP on a 25 Silverado 1500. They've got no market adjustments, no hidden costs, and sales managers are on the floor ready to help. That's been the McDaniel difference since 1916. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
The Buckeyes are national champions. And you listen to it all right here on The Fan. And next year when they do it again, it'll be here on The Fan. And the year after that, well, you know the drill. Always and forever, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution specialists.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Now buy 4 windows, get 4 free. Plus a free entry door with a house of windows. Visit windownation.com.
All right, before the loose cannon takes us home, just reiterating the fact that the 12-team college football playoff for this season will move to a straight seeding model. Mm-hmm. So you're going to reward, and I always said this, I said it right after it happened. If you're going to task a committee into choosing the teams and ranking the teams, why take the ball out of their hands when it comes to setting up the bracket? That makes no sense to me. So this was the way to go. I know the NFL has stiff-armed this, maybe for rivalry reasons. They play 2 teams, they play them in the division twice, but this is happening. Whether it continues to happen from this day forever, who knows?
I think it'll stick.
It should, because
I think this will stick.
Yeah, and then this gives the teams that earn the body of work to be in that bracket as, it's not science, but as much information as you can to go by. And what they did is they gifted those underdogs the best chance to crash the party, and they still couldn't do it.
Right.
And so, and you and I were both saying, small sample size, yeah, but maybe a true sample size in a way.
I agree. What do you got,
TLC? Take us home.
Well, in that same vein, tell the truth. Would it not even matter how many teams are welcomed into the college football playoff, because whoever wins the tournament will have been justified in the end anyway? Meaning, let's go with the sarcastic Matt Rule route, where he joked, no matter what On3 put out, he joked, to throw in 40 teams in there, help us out. If they put 40 teams in there, a lot of people would mock that and treat that like a joke of a tournament. But whoever wins it in the end, is anyone going to say that they didn't earn their championship, even if it were some 8-4 team?
There's no doubt they would have earned it.
Oh yeah, if the amount of games,
they would
unless
have
the
to play,
bracket just imploded like an NCAA tournament imploded and allowed a team to get to the Final Four without a tough road.
We just don't need that.
Can't do it in football.
We don't
think about the
need that.
NCAA tournament. Those guys are playing on a Thursday night, then they're playing Saturday. Like, they're playing 2 games in 3 days. You're not doing that in football. I agree. I mean, I don't want the supersized college football tournament, but this is kind of where we are.
I just think if we expand this thing beyond, if we get to 16, even then, some of those early games are going to feel the way they felt this year, where you're just going to have duds. I don't know if,
the odds would tell you that you will get an upset eventually.
100%. I don't disagree with that, but that would probably be it. Like, I'd be surprised if we ever saw a team that would be tabbed as a football Cinderella rip off win after win after win after win and knock off big boys that have superior talent and better rosters top to bottom and go on to get to a national championship. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
I don't know whether we'll have a 3-loss champion one year.
It would have to be what you said. Because you laid it out well.
They're not the same team.
You laid it out well. Like, you get a Jeremiah Smith that goes down week 2.
2 weeks of hammy.
The quarterback goes down, and they miss 4-5 weeks.
You lose a game that you shouldn't.
And then those guys come back at the right time. That's what it would take. I agree with you on that.
This is the most I've ever heard Cole talk.
What is a home-and-home series you'd like to see Ohio State involved in?
Ooh.
Which this is basically just which SEC team.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I would be in on Ohio State and Clemson. Some history there.
Yeah.
Again.
They played in some big games because we're getting Texas, we're getting Alabama. We've seen.
Yeah, we are doing that.
So I would be on board.
We're getting Georgia eventually.
Yeah. Ooh, when's that coming again? That's 2030? 2030? Okay.
Yeah.
But you tell me we get Ryan Day and Dabo, those 2 brands that have played some meaningful games late in the year, I can rock with that.
When? And would they both be coaching their respective teams at the time? Because these schedules are already set till 20 through 28 and beyond. In fact, Georgia's 30 and 31. So if we're planning the schedule for 2035, it's hard to say. He brought up a good thing. Where would we want?
Home and home series for you.
See, you can't guarantee these are going to be good.
Just pick a big name and we'll say they're probably good.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of scanning it. I mean, we started a little something with Tennessee. It's drivable. I know it's not moving the needle for you.
Yeah, we have Neyland North and Shoe South.
Yeah. I don't see, because you start picking some brands like the U or something like that, and you're like, okay, well, could those be duds? I don't know.
We've done Notre Dame recently.
Got Texas. You've got Georgia. You got Bama. You're playing Oregon in the conference. We've done. Do we want more Notre Dame?
No, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I've seen it. I'm good now.
So the only thing that kind of came to my mind was Tennessee because that was the most recent.
Thinking of any of the...
I like Clemson. I like that talk a little bit.
The Florida teams aren't holding their weight in the sport anymore.
You could make Joe Burrow choose.
You're saying LSU?
Mm-hmm.
I like that, TLC. I can get down with that. I actually like that more than my Clemson pick. A little spicier. That SEC sauce on it.
So there goes one over the fence.
Thank you. Thanks, Harry.
So Amber Lee of Bleacher Report listed not Mike Tyson. She listed Don King as the #1 villain in sports history. Is that close, not close, way off? Because I was not expecting that answer, but this is also an era that predates me.
Real quick, because we don't got too much on my mind, went to John Rocker, AR.
He was top 10.
Dude got batteries thrown out.
Yeah, you bring in a lot with Rocker, right? You bring in all the...
He's just one. That is where my mind went.
You bring in a lot more than just sports hatred there.
Was he good enough as a player to be #1 ever?
#1?
No, I don't think he would have that kind of an impact.
Yeah.
Don King, would he be the #1? Yeah, probably.
Really?
Yeah, feels right. Okay. Outside of, this is a topic for tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll
the brain cells are cashed at the end of the show.
What happens when you hang out with Adam King? for a day.
Yeah.
Hey, before we go, if you ever miss anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up wherever you get your podcast. Type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the pod as well. Bet365 is the exclusive sports betting sponsor of the Rothman and Ice podcast.
We'll hit you tomorrow. High noon. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Common man, radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy, moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
Forever starts with the perfect diamond. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from The Diamond Seller, and for over 78 years, our family has helped generations of couples celebrate love with brilliance, quality, and unbeatable prices. At Diamond Seller, bigger diamonds and better prices are our promise to you. Whether you're popping the question or upgrading your sparkle, trust the experts. Because diamonds, they're our forte. Visit us at Diamond Seller on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondseller.com.
Hiring today for tomorrow with WM. A stable career and a safe environment. That's what you get as a heavy-duty mechanic at WM. Plus great benefits like 100% tuition coverage for you and your family. WM is now hiring heavy-duty mechanics in Columbus. Get boot and tool allowance and additional pay with a Cummins certification or CDL license. There are openings for CDL truck drivers too with home daily routes. Apply online at careers.wm.com. That's careers.wm.com. A people-first, military-friendly, equal opportunity employer.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Are you experiencing knee pain? Is something as simple as walking up and down the stairs painful? Well, I found the answer to your pain. Hey, it's Tyvis Powell. What Columbus Medical Director Dr. Aaron Wolkoff and his team are doing is nothing short of remarkable. They are using regenerative cell therapy to restore the tissue in your achy joints. These are biologic growth factors with robust healing properties carefully and strategically placed in your joints. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life, repairing old tissues. Best part with QC Kinetics, there are no drugs, there's no surgeries involved, and there's no downtime. This is an all-natural cellular level option with lasting relief. The patient's satisfaction reports are astonishing. Go to QCkinetics.com/Columbus or call QC Kinetics now and learn about these cutting-edge treatment that can help you live your best life. The consultation is free. New locations in Grove City and Canal Winchester. 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. Summer is officially here, and so are the rising temperatures. Before you know it, you'll be wondering what else you can do to keep cool during the dog days of summer. You want to beat the heat and keep the AC in your home? Get Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. During their semi-annual sale, you can buy 4 windows and get 4 windows free. Plus a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows, and no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. So how exactly do they keep their prices affordable? It's a great question. Window Nation works directly with the top window manufacturers in the country, which means all their windows are assembled right here in the USA. Plus, their windows come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Window Nation's semi-annual sale ends soon. So buy 4 windows, get 4 windows free, and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows, plus pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now, 866-90-NATION, or visit windownation.com. Once again, that number, 866-90-NATION, or go to their website, windownation.com.